Appreciate that, Deshaun. So I mean, I'll give an introduction of me as well before I jump into the presentation here. So like Deshaun said, we were in a community before this and we were able to connect there. And just over the last week or two, we've been talking on everything, not just travel, just business credit, business credit, business funding, all these things. And the good thing about this presentation is I come from the travel hacking side of things. I'm going to show you guys what's possible, the potential that you can utilize your points with. And Deshaun comes from like, he just likes the cultural experience, the convenience. He's traveled to more places than I have, but we're just going to jam sesh back and forth on all that. And the beginning of it, if you guys, I know I see some familiar faces. If you guys have been on some of my calls, I always like to just break down points at the foundational level, just so everyone understands how to use them, how to earn them, and then we'll talk, the last half of some really actionable items that you can utilize, whether you are a travel hacker like myself and you travel a lot, or you travel a ton like Deshaun, or whether you're someone that just doesn't really travel that much, but you want to be able to make it cheaper, you want a better experience, you want more convenience. We'll talk about all those things. And I have a great little loophole that I'm gonna mention you guys as well, which I've been able to book the last couple flights. If you guys are on early, I'll be going to Argentina in a few days now, and I'm gonna live out there for a few months, first half of the year. So I'll talk about how I was able to book that trip as well. So we'll have a lot of content coming on the YouTube, but I'll start sharing my screen. Anyone have like initial questions out the gate that they want answered tonight, just so I can see them?
Anybody have, well, yeah, just put them in the chat if you guys have some questions right now, and then just put them in the chat throughout the call. And then we will actually have an open session for you guys. If you stay to the end, we'll have an open session where you can unmute and then we can rock out. Meanwhile, does anybody plan on traveling this year, 2025? If you do, please let me know where you plan on going. What's your desired area of where you want to go? Because we might be able to help you with that as well. So if you have a place that you're looking to travel this year, type it in the chat. Type it in the chat. See where you guys want to go. I want to see where my avid travelers are. Homa says London, Hawaii. All right, all right. Zach, you can show them how to get to Hawaii pretty easy.
I
Dubai.
can.
Jackie's on Dubai time. Right on. Nice.
Can you guys see screen? Can you guys hear everything still?
Bali. Yeah, we see you, bro.
Okay. Perfect.
India. Wow, that's a good one right there. I want to go to India too. You use points. John, nice one, man. You're already on the game. Good. Egypt, James, that's what's up. I just got back from Egypt last year. That's a good one right there. Turkey. Yeah, I go to Turkey and Dubai. That's dope. Right on.
We ready to jump into it?
Yeah, man, let's kill it.
You guys can see the screen, everything?
Yep, you're rocking, bro.
Perfect. Perfect. So a very fitting title. Like, even I have family and friends that still think that travel hacking is a scam, that using credit card points and miles is somehow illegal, but it's not. So I just thought it was a fitting title, just out there. And so first off, let's just get it rocking. Tonight's agenda, like I said, for anyone who's just starting, we're going to break that down. For the true travel hackers, we're going to give you some loopholes and some things that you can take advantage of. It doesn't matter where you're at. As long as you understand the game, the foundational principles of points and miles, right, you can play it. The strategies work for everyone. It's just what strategy works for you. And that's the great thing about me and Deshaun. We're going to go back and forth on how we both travel and give you two different perspectives on what that might look like. Exactly what I just said. So I'm going to show you what's possible with points and miles. I'm going to show you the biz class flights, the hotels. You don't have to do the business class stuff. I'm a single guy, so I don't really have anything else to worry about in terms of booking things and in terms of what I like. Deshaun likes, convenience, boutique hotels, different cultural experiences. You guys can check out, the differences of our content on YouTube as well. So we're going to give you those two different dynamics, and then you yourself can start to develop, your own strategy with points and miles.
Your mic kind of dipped out.
Oh,
there you go. All right, I hear you now.
Oh,
I got you. You're good.
Well, all the videos are playing.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, got you.
Here, let me do this.
Nice. Man, you put my stuff in there. Nice. Yeah, guys. So also if you guys YouTube, if you go to each one of our YouTubes, you can go to Zach's YouTube, you can go to my YouTube, you can see some of the different places that we like to travel. And that will help you kind of see the difference in the kind of different kind of travels that we do. But at the same time, we still get out there and see the world, and we take advantage of using our credit cards to be able to do so. You ready, bro?
For sure. Yeah, they were all just playing. I didn't know that was going to happen in presenter view, but I'm just kind of lay the foundation, like whether you guys want, suite type upgrades with hotels. That might be what you're looking for, is nice suites like this at the Grand Hyatt Tampa Bay. You might be looking for lounge access. This is at the American Airlines flagship lounge. When I went to Hawaii, I got access to this by flying business class. So it could be those things. It could be the lounge access. It could be the business class stuff. This is flagship as well to Hawaii. But outside of that, it's not just the fun stuff. Maybe you want to be able to utilize points to have family experiences, be able to go on trips with your family, make it to bachelor parties. Like I've booked a lot of flights being able to make it to bachelor parties or weddings, and be able to have those experiences, book hotels for my parents. There's a lot of opportunities, not just selfishly for yourself, even though that can be fun. It's also fun to be able to provide those experiences for your family, for your friends, and kind of give you those opportunities. So wherever you're at, you can utilize it to your advantage and how you want to do it. So I just want to see where everyone is at. Is everyone right now, like, are they looking to travel for themselves? Do they want to utilize personal card sign up bonuses or business card sign up bonuses to do anything specific? Right. I know travel is really expensive. It can be, and that could be a reason why a lot of people don't travel as much as they can. Is there anyone want to do something for their family? Anyone want to do something specific? Family travel right there, Henry. Because I think that's one of the things that I want to continue doing, is be able to put those experiences. I never got to fly business class or first class growing up. And being points and miles actually gave me the opportunity to do so, and it breaks your brain once you're able to do it. And it's really cool. So I want you guys all to be able to have the same opportunity with that. So when it comes down to main travel strategies with points and miles,
Zach, real quick, can you go back to presenter mode?
yes, absolutely.
All
Easy.
right.
Boom.
Cool.
So there's three travel strategies. There's rental cars, there's hotels, and there's airlines. Most of the points are going to deal with hotels and airlines, and I'm going to talk about rental cars as well. And that's, you don't even have to have status. You don't have to have points and miles to be able to do that. So right now, like when I talk about how expensive trips are, how much are you guys typically spending on a vacation? When you're planning out a vacation, are you guys spending $3,000, $5,000? Are you guys waiting for the international trips? What types of vacations do you guys like to go on? I know um, John said a cruise.
Yeah.
People are a lot of international trips here. Dang. Yeah, I'm looking at all these now. Trip to Bali in April,
Yeah.
on points.
We're going to show you guys how to save thousands of dollars tonight, especially if you have a family and you want to take your family. You guys are going to be able to save thousands and thousands of dollars being able to take these strategies and things that we put into place for you guys to listen to. Just stick with us as we go through this.
So the questions I'm going to ask, everyone's already answered, right? It seems like a lot of international trips. I know a lot of people mostly stay in the domestic US, but points and miles allows you to do those crazy trips. So we'll dive into it. First of all, if you don't even have that many credit cards, if you guys don't have that many points right now, you're still trying to get into the game, this is something that you can utilize right now. So it's the national/Best Western status hack. So this is a way that you're going to be able to status match. You're going to get status with the rental car companies. And so what you're going to do
Hold
is
on,
you're
hold
going to
on,
be able to,
hold on. Let's break down status matching real quick a little bit more.
okay,
Zach. All right.
for sure.
So real quick, what is the benefit of them status matching? Why would people want to status match?
Status match to be able to get a higher status within a program.
Okay.
So what I'm going to talk about here with rental cars, obviously status matching with airlines and hotels gives you benefits, extra baggage, gives you upgrades into, comfort seats or first class. Hotels get you sweet upgrades. It gets you free breakfast, late checkout. Those are things that having status gives you, the extra convenience, lets you get more value out of your points and your miles as well. So that's with airlines and hotels. With car rentals, status matching allows you to book the cheapest car and be able to take certain cars off the lot. You don't have to deal with the lines. You can do it pretty much all in app.
Yeah.
And being able to choose your car, being able to get a nicer car, a Jeep or an Infinity or some of the other options we'll talk about. Just who doesn't want to drive a nicer car instead of
The other,
a small Camry or something like that.
yeah, the other option, the other thing that I like is that when you status match, you can book a lower tier car, and then get upgraded because you're of a higher status, right? So that's one of the reasons why we're going to talk to you guys about status matching. And it's important to go from having a low status to getting this high status so that you're like on the president's circle. You want to be in the president's circle where, like he said,
Mm-hmm.
skip the lines. You don't have to wait in line like you see a lot of people doing. Everything's online. You book your stuff and you just go straight to your vehicle and you smash off. That's just huge. That's a really, really big thing to do. And then also, like he was talking about, he's going to go deeper into it as well. But with the airlines, I've literally been sitting in United on an economy. And then because I had status, they put me on the upgrade list, and I was in first class, just like that. So getting the status is so important. So you could be paying for the same amount that you would normally pay right now, but now you're getting yourself into a BMW instead of driving some Ford, you know? So it can make a
Sure.
trip, like so much better when you have a long trip and you have a rental car. I've done it so many times where it's like we have a 2-hour drive and you're in a Mercedes compared to driving in a Prius, you know, or a Fiat, a Cinquecento in Italy, you know? So having status is huge, guys. It's so important.
Yeah, unfortunately, JP, probably not Lambos, but depending on the car rental company, right? You can get BMWs, M3s, Maseratis. So not as much as super luxury, but there's options for sure.
Man, and hey,
So,
don't sleep on was it Hertz? Hertz had a the Mercedes, what was that one? The Mercedes with the wings, the gold wings that went up. That one was
ooh.
so sweet that you could get. So you can get some exotics. Some places will offer exotics for upgrades.
So if that's something you guys want, we're going to talk about a quick little hack that anyone can do right now. So all you have to do is make a Best Western account, just like you would with Delta or with United. And so what you're going to do is you're going to type in the status match Best Western, and you're going to take your Hilton Diamond or Hilton Gold status. If you guys want, you can take a screenshot or DM me, and I will send you this photo if you need to. But you get status with Hilton. This can work with any other hotel brand if you already have status with Marriott. The Amex Platinum gives you gold status with Marriott and Hilton. So if you have that card, you can utilize that this way. Sometimes they don't even require you to send in a screenshot of your status, but if they do, then that's why you want this screenshot, because all you technically have to do is change the year. So you could Photoshop it a little bit, change the year. There's not really any verification in terms of that. And then once you do that, they're going to give you executive elite status at national. So once you have executive elite status, that's going to be their highest car rental status at national. You can match that to other car rental companies as well, because now we're status matching a current status with other companies to get top tier status with the other rental companies. So you'd match that with national to Hertz. Also, if you have the platinum, you already have Hertz President Circle as well. Hertz to Avis, Avis to Sixth. And Sixth is going to be your international car rental company as well.
And
So
60
that's
has some dope cars like BMWs.
really nice. Yeah.
I was just in Germany, and I was forced to kind of have a 60, and I went, and the lot is just full of like luxury vehicles, you guys, like really, really nice Audi A6 is what I rented. Oh, he has the Audi A6 right there too. Right on. Yeah. So
Yep.
60 is a great one, guys, to get your status on.
Yeah, I've been handing out a free guide on the car rental status. as well if you guys want that. People have used that all year, just like John here. You got the Q7. But what's like some of the other benefits of car rental status other than just getting the car, a better car? You can rent the cheapest car. So if you book a Camry at $70 a day, you can go to having National Executive Elite allows you to go into well, first off, the additional fees are all waived. You don't have young driver fees. So if you're younger, you don't have to pay that additional fee. And then you get unlimited mileage. So you drive wherever you want. You get to go in, I don't know why I can't think of it right now, but National has a lane where they have like 40 cars. And that's why having executive elite status is really good because you don't have to wait in line and check in. You can check in on your app and you have top tier status. And with that, you can just walk to the lane and choose the car that you want and you scan it with your phone, with your app. So you don't have to deal with the line, and you just get to drive right out with the car that you want. So that's exactly what John did with the Audi Q7. And that's what makes it really great. And that's why also I'm going to show you how to get 50 to 60% off on those cars by utilizing something called corporate codes, which is great because there's no one verifying a corporate code because you don't have to go to a line. You
This
don't
is
have to speak
huge.
to a representative. You're only speaking to the person that basically says, "Is this the car you're leaving with?" Yep. And they sign you out for your rental agreement.
Those corporate codes
Even
are huge. You're going to drop that on them tonight?
oh yeah, we're gonna give them a couple.
What? When I used to work in the hotel industry, right? Like when I was like in my 20s, early 20s, I was like a concierge, I was a front desk staff, front desk manager and all that. And I remember when I used to type in these codes when people used to come from Microsoft and all these different like corporations and they would have these codes and they got these discounts to be able to get their rooms. So you can save a ton of money, you guys, if you use these corporate codes. This is a gem right here. You don't want to keep paying what they call rack rates. You don't want to
Yep.
keep paying rack rates. You want to be able to use corporate codes to get your discounts. That's gem number one. Keep rocking, bro.
Yeah. So Emerald, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Emerald Isle is where you go and pick up your car with multiple cars. So this is where they're going to have Challengers, they're going to have pickup trucks, they're going to have Jeeps, minivans, Audis, Mustangs, and larger vehicles. And when it comes down to it, this is going to be your prices with the corporate codes. Like this Nissan Versa ends up being like $70 to $80 a day. And cutting that essentially 30, 40, 50% in half by utilizing a corporate code. So that's a corporate code that I've used in the past as well. Acro Services that gives you a discount on that. I actually did have another photo kind of comparing the original prices with the discounted prices. But one thing you want to take advantage of too that's also going to save you money that most people don't really recognize or know is just booking the car under a credit card that has primary rental car insurance. That takes precedence essentially over your normal insurance. And then you don't have to pay the 10, 20, $30 a day extra that they charge you by buying the insurance that they offer you in your checkout. So
Like
if you just
Chase,
put it,
right?
yep, exactly. Chase Preferred, Reserve, the Biz Inc., Built Rewards, Capital One Venture, they all have primary rental car insurance. And that's exactly, I think I'm breaking that down over here. Yeah, I'll break it down in a couple slides. But you can use corporate codes to be able to get even cheaper options, as well as booking the cars under primary rental car insurance cards. So this is a Tesla I ended up getting with Hertz President Circle. It was $40 a day. I believe it was going for like 98 at the time. I know Tesla's like the prices of Teslas have gone down quite a bit, so I don't know if they're charging that much now. But I was able to get a Tesla for $40 a day, which was considered a higher tier car
Nice.
with Hertz
Look at
President Circle.
look at that
And, it,
screen. That's chunky.
and if you guys want to try, yeah, I know this is actually kind of sick. I did this in DC, so that's at what the DC Memorial,
Nice.
whatnot downtown there, which is really cool. And that's actually where I ended up doing a globalist run to be able to get high at globalist. But if you guys want to try the Tesla hack as well, this is a little bit more, I guess, black hat if you want to do it. But you can do a VPN with an IP address in Japan, and you're going to get even cheaper rates. Sometimes people will utilize VPNs from other countries to see the rates because they'll be different if you're in the US. You can use different codes as well. But sometimes it's all dependent. Like I remember when I got this Tesla for $40 a day, I checked the next week, even with corporate codes, and with Hertz President Circle, it was like $70. So sometimes date, sometimes airport is dependent. So you just want to go and search different locations and prices. But that's another kind of another hack is using a VPN from another country. If you maybe if you don't even want to utilize corporate codes or you don't have access to corporate codes, I've given you guys a couple here and on the last slide. If you guys want to write those down, but a VPN option is also another way to get discounted rates.
Nice.
Now, sixth, like we said, is an international partner.
Yeah.
So if you guys you're not going to be able to have national or Hertz typically in international countries. Sixth is going. What do you call it? 60.
I call it 60 for some reason. Just I
Yeah.
thought T
So,
on there.
I mean, I don't know. That could be right. I could be wrong. But one way to, like we were talking about, you can get nice BMWs, M3s, like more like race style cars, faster cars on the international side. And so if you want to lock in, corporate codes don't really work that well internationally. But if you want to lock in a specific car, make a burner account that is not attached to your main like member number. And what you're going to want to do, because Sixt actually has a cancellation policy where you can cancel the reservations within hours of before doing it, you're not going to want to pay prepay. You're just going to pay on site. And then you're going to book the car that you want with the burner account. When you land,
Zach,
when
hold
you
on.
land, you can then cancel that. So
Zach,
then,
some of us are like almost 50 years old, bro. We don't know what a burner account is, man. You're gonna have, I
it's
know.
just a separate account, separate email.
Okay, all right.
Different email. But what you're doing is you're already making a booking with your original member number, and that is the member number that you already have top tier status with, because we did the Best Western hack and we status matched with all of the car companies, and now we have top tier status with Sixt. So if we book that car on a burner account and then we end up canceling it, when you show up, right, you're available for an upgrade with Sixt. So when you end up canceling it, you show up, you know the car that you want, you go check out the lot, you see that, I'd like this car for my upgrade. Well, that's awesome. Someone actually just canceled that reservation. You can take it. So that's a way internationally, if you want to utilize your car rental status and be able to get a nicer car, is to book it on a burner account. Don't pay with the credit card, pay on site. But as always, like with anything in the travel side of things, right? Treat people with respect. Don't get mad if they all of a sudden don't, let you take that car. Just chalk it up. But
That
those typically
happens.
work out.
That happens all the time though, man. You'll go online and you'll have a certain car reserved, and then as soon as you get there, it's like they're giving you some low-end car or some different kind of car when you're like, yo, I reserved this kind of car, I reserved this one. So
Mm-hmm.
this hack right here is, if you definitely want to be able to get that vehicle, put it aside. You don't get hit with a cancellation fee when you do this, right? So unlike like hotels and airlines and stuff like that, you can cancel as soon as you get there. So you can literally be in the parking lot before you go into the actual rental car company, cancel your from your burner account, from your separate account that you created, cancel that reservation, walk into the reservation place where you're going to go get your car, and then get that upgrade that you're looking for, or get that vehicle that you're looking for. So that's one way of securing and making sure that you get that nice car that you want on your vacation. Jim, dude, that's a nice
Exactly.
hack, bro. That's a good one.
Okay. Perfect. And if we were talking about rental insurance, so we're going to talk about the cards briefly and why it's important to, right, when you're booking those cards or cars, putting it under specific cards with primary rental car insurance. So, like I said, this pretty much takes precedent over your personal auto insurance, which means you can directly file a claim with the credit card company and they will cover it. So it avoids or helps with collision damage, theft, rental vehicles up to the price of that car, essentially. So if that car gets absolutely wrecked, the credit card company is actually going to cover it, where a majority of the third party insurances actually won't cover the entire damages of the car. So instead of paying those extra $20, $40 in daily fees, right? Those stack up. If you have a 5-day trip, that's almost $200 in just additional fees. You're just booking it on the credit card that has primary rental car insurance. So, right, Chase Sapphire Preferred, the Sapphire cards, right? The Reserve, the Business Preferred card, Built card. There's quite a few cards. Venture X also has it as well, primary rental car insurance. And the good thing about that is Turo doesn't necessarily have you can't book Turo cars with credit cards and still get the same insurance. It's just the conglomerate of rental car companies and credit cards. It works that way. So that's also why I'm mentioning this, because I know I've used Turo in the past. I've had a good experience. I don't have any bad problems with Turo. They're usually sometimes cheaper as well. But when you utilize the status matching, when you utilize not having to pay the additional fees, booking booking the cars with those credit cards on prior rental car insurance, then you have all those additional benefits. You have the additional insurance that you might not have even if you book something a little bit cheaper on Turo. And
Definitely.
when you book on Turo, you just get that one car that you booked. So this you get multiple options.
Right.
And so I do want to touch on the Built card as well, because I think this is a really good card to have. And anyone even just getting into travel hacking, it's a no annual fee card. A lot of people talk about annual fees. It gives you the primary rental car insurance. It's very similar to the Chase Preferred card, which I'm going to talk about right after this. It's my favorite beginner starter card for you guys to get into if you haven't. Gives you 3x on dining, 2x on travel, 1x on everything else. And although they don't have a sign-up bonus, they have a secret little sign-up bonus that they don't really advertise, which you can get 5x points, up to 50,000 points in the first 5 days. So if you have a big expense and you want to put it on this card, when you open it up, you can earn points. And Built points, their system is incredible. They have a lot of really good partners. And some of my favorite, it used to be American Airlines, but I think Alaska, I'm becoming a really big fan of Alaska. So they have Hyatt in Alaska to be able to utilize those points. The other great thing, they have an incredible referral program. I haven't really applied to any personal cards over the last year and a half or so. I don't even have the Built card, but I'm able to refer it and still earn points, which means you guys are able to refer it and still earn points.
This one's huge, guys. Are you going to go into also the being able to use that for your apartments or to be able to pay your apartments? Did you talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can earn points on rent. You can earn 1x points on rent. And I've heard a lot of people actually doing it with their mortgage as well. So Built will essentially send a payment for rent or for your mortgage, and it looks like an ACH, but it's really just coming from your card. So look, okay, Bonetta's using it for a mortgage. So that's easy points that you can use. And then when you stack those up, Built out of any other credit card company has insane transfer bonuses. I actually utilized it earlier last year, people to transfer some points to Emirates because I want to take an Emirates flight at some point. And so they do, even if you, I guess this is wrong photo I have here, but it's usually 100%, 125%, and 150% bonuses. So if you transfer 10,000 points and you don't have any status with Built, you can still get 20,000 points to whatever partner you're transferred to, whether that's Flying Blue, Air Canada, Emirates, and they do these every couple of months. So a really good system where you're pretty much racking up points on your rent. No other card does that. And they have crazy transfer bonuses and really, really good partners.
You guys are paying like $2,000, $1,500, $2,000 a month on rent. You're essentially we're gonna be able to show you, you're gonna essentially be able to get a free airline ticket every single year just by having these points. Just imagine you're getting something for just paying your rent or paying your mortgage. You're getting a free ticket. It's huge. So you're going to want, this is definitely a card we want to definitely let you guys know you need to have this inside of your starter crew. And this is by Wells Fargo, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this is a
Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo now too, they have a new autograph card, which they just started getting partners. I'll talk about right after this, every system, the partners, because a lot of people ask me, what's the best way to use my Citi points or what's the best way to use my Chase points? We'll break down the partners that you can use, but Built just added specifically to Built as well. If you purchase a home through their, I forget exactly, it might be like Keller Williams or something like that. But if you purchase a home through them, you can earn points by purchasing a home. So if you buy a $300,000 home, you can earn $300,000 bill points if you work through their partner
Wow.
as well. So that's new that they added just a couple months ago. And I think built just the way they market things, they're trying to make like credit cards and like financing like kind of fun. They do built rent days. So like
Yep.
every start of the month they do like a quiz. And if you answer the quiz and do it right, you're put into a drawing to get free rent that month or your mortgage paid for. So they do a lot of games in app, and I just really like what they're doing and kind of what they're bringing to the space. And it's just a no annual fee card. You're building a relationship with Wells Fargo, which can eventually, help you out with one of their business credit cards or even their new autograph card, right? So those relationships are important, and it's just a great system.
Nice. Nice.
And then while we're on it too, I want to touch on this is the card that got me into travel hacking. This is the card that got me looking into points and miles. I did an abroad internship after I played baseball in Nebraska, and I needed a card with no foreign transaction fees. This is the one I got. And this is the one I recommend for everyone to get started with if you're just getting into travel. Low annual fee, $95. The highest sub is typically around 80K. So 80,000 chase points. You get the primary rental car insurance. You get a ton of really good insurances. So outside of if you book flights and they lose your bags or you get delayed more than 4 hours, if you book those flights on this card, you're going to be compensated by the credit card company. So if you get delayed by more than 4 hours or you have to spend the night and stay in a hotel, they'll actually reimburse you. So there's a lot of like small travel insurances under these travel cards that actually can be really beneficial if anything were to go wrong. Because as we know, when we travel, it's not always perfect. So, but this is low annual fee, and you need the preferred card or the reserve card to be able to transfer points out of Chase. So when I start talking about transfer partners and how we're getting way more value out of our points, you're going to need one of these cards to be able to do that. Or else you're stuck within the system. So that makes it great. You can earn 10 to 15,000 points on referrals. And one thing that they don't advertise either is you get one Chase Lounge pass per year. So I'll talk about lounges a little bit later as well. But Chase is really trying to up their game. We know about the Amex Centurion lounges, the Escape lounges. Chase is starting to add more lounges. They're trying to get in the lounge game, and they're freaking nice. So I
Hey,
use that.
how many people have a Chase card right now? Because we're going to show you some other game with the Chase card. Can you put a 1 in the chat if you have a Chase right now? And if you don't have a Chase right now and you want one, put a 2 in the chat because we have a connect that can actually help you get into the Chase ecosystem. So if you have a Chase, put a number 1 in the chat. If you don't have one and you want one, put a 2 in the chat. Just curious. Got you. James, you know I got you, buddy. Got you.
And this is going to be Chase is going to be a game changer for you when it comes to points and miles. So when we get a little bit deeper, you're going to want to have Chase points, you're going to want to have Amex points, and then we're going to talk about some other ones. But if you have the Chase Preferred, don't don't miss out on the Sapphire Lounge pass. So I went to the Boston one. They have chefs that you can order on a menu and get food. So it's a little bit higher class of a lounge. Super nice. Order cocktails by the bar. Really nice. They have like an Equinox is partnered with it. So they had a room where you could sit in a massage chair as well. So really nice lounge. That's just a slight benefit that you don't really hear about. And if we're looking at the value of our points and what I'm going to be talking about, 80,000 points could get you 10 one-way flights on how I book my flights that I'm going to show you guys.
Wow.
So that's if you're able to book a flight for 7,500 points one way, you're able to get just off that sign up bonus 10 one way flights. Or you can get a nice little biz class, one or two of these biz classes, depending on transfer bonuses on something like Virgin Atlantic. Virgin Atlantic just had a transfer bonus of 40% from American Express to Virgin Atlantic in November. And then they had the same thing at Chase to Virgin Atlantic as well in December. So those are things that can be really beneficial and when and how you transfer your points.
Yeah. So stick with us, guys, because later on he's going to show you how to actually do that. So,
For sure.
and so 80,000 points, you get that with a sign-on bonus, right? That's what you had to say.
Correct.
So basically, when you apply for this card, you can get these sign-on bonuses, and a sign-on bonus is going to give you 81 way tickets. That's huge just by signing up. And there's all these other cards that have sign-up bonuses as well. And being able to utilize these points, he's getting ready to dive in and show you how to use these points to get these flights, how to use these points to get these hotels.
Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to talk about credit card points. We're going to talk about credit card miles, the systems that you should use and that actually have transferable partners. But before we even dive into that, there's always this huge myth like adding credit cards is bad. And I know Deshaun can talk to this as well. When you're actually adding credit cards, as long as you're responsible, like we want to treat our personal credit like gold, and you're actually building payment history. So you're helping your credit. I have 9 open personal accounts and I have an 840 on Experian because I've built up so much positive payment history. And that's what happens when you add more cards. So just make sure that you're paying cards off. I want to talk about that because right, it's something that's brought up all the time. The more payments you have, the more history you're building, the more age, the longer those cards you have open, the more trust you're building with the bank. So eventually, if you want to utilize business credit or there's other opportunities, that's great.
Yeah.
You'll get higher.
My mom taught me I wasn't supposed to have more than 3 cards. She said,
Yeah,
you're supposed to have more
that's
than
even
3 cards, you're going to get bad credit. I was like, when I got into this game and I started learning all this, I was like, Mom, what did you tell me that for? Look at all these cards I can get and all this money I can be getting access to. What are you doing to me? Man, that is definitely a myth. Get rid of that.
exactly.
Get rid of
And
that.
then we can build up those credit lines too, right? It just gets more opportunities. Like American Express, literally, just because I have a good relationship with them, they're sending me pre-approval offers in my email. And so when you
Nice.
build relationships with certain banks, they'll give you pre-approval offers. They literally sent me a pre-approval for a 7% loan, which is really good in this market right now, up to 40K. So when you build those relationships, very good, higher credit lines on the business side, it looks good and it helps with the utilization. As we know, you don't want to be holding a lot of balances on the personal side, right? That's why we pay things off and we treat the personal side really, really good. So, and we'll talk about the business stuff versus personal stuff, but we'll keep it on the travel side from here on out. So when we're focusing on points and miles with travel, there's ecosystems that have transferable points because the way we get more value is by transferring our points. And so those ecosystems that we want to focus on are going to be Chase Bank, American Express, then I would say Built, Citi, Wells Fargo, and Capital One.
Screenshot that, you guys. That's a good one. You're gonna want these cards. These are the master. These are the cards you guys want to have in your wallet.
And we'll walk through each one of those systems and the transfer partners that they have that you can utilize your points with. So the way we do this, of course, obviously sign up bonuses from cards, putting the right cards in the right places and where you're spending them, restaurants, travel, groceries, marketing. That's how we're earning points on kind of our daily spenders. So we focus on these to be able to transfer them out. A lot of people have different travel cards in other systems, right? Discover, I hear it from US Bank, Bank of America. You can have travel cards, they may be travel cards, but they're not transferable, which means they have to stay within their system. So if you have 10,000 points, that would be comparable to $100. You can only use those points within their system. So you can book a flight and use those points, but you're not going to get any additional value in terms of how you're using them. So like I said, these are going to be the main ones you want to focus on if you want to get more value out of your points, save more money, have some of those experiences. These ones can still book in there, but there's not much you can do. There's also differentiation between airline points and credit card points. Airline points, you can't necessarily transfer out of the airline systems. With the credit card points and the systems that we just talked about, you can transfer into other airlines. So if I wanted to book a Delta flight and I didn't have a Delta card, which I don't. I'm from Minnesota. I know a lot of people are also from Atlanta, huge Delta hubs. I do like Delta, but I don't have a Delta credit card because I know if I earn American Express points, I can still book flights with Delta by transferring points into them. If you have airline points, they're stuck in that system and you don't really get as much value because they just, like Delta specifically, just charges a lot in terms of booking with their systems. Now, there's other systems that I like that I think play a role. I really like American Airlines and I really like Alaska, which we'll talk about. So there might be reasons to grab certain airline cards that benefit you in your strategy or you and the airlines that you fly. So my rankings in terms of airlines, I'll go back to the Delta thing. I think Delta is probably the best domestic carrier in terms of like experience. They have they have the screens on all their flights.
Hmm.
They don't get delayed as much, but in terms of points and miles, their system is archaic and it's hard to get good deals. My favorite, American, because you'll be able to book multiple different airlines under American. Alaska comes in second for me because it's under One World with American. You can book the same airlines under Alaska, and I'll talk about some of the bookings that I've actually done with Alaska, where I think you can get really the best value of getting some points in there. Then there's United as well, which you can actually transfer Chase points into to be able to book flights. And then, like I said, Delta kind of comes in last, but this is how I would rank it from a travel points and miles side of things. You agree with that, Deshaun? What do you think? I know you're a United guy, right?
Yeah, you know what? I was more of a United guy, but I think I'm more of a Alaska Airlines guy now, man. Now with their
Hmm.
partnership with Hawaiian and being able to get all the way down to South America and over to the East, I don't know, man. I think I like Alaska. Alaska always treats me really well. So
Yep,
I'm rocking with
for
Alaska.
sure.
But yeah, American Airlines has done me dirty a few times with their lateness. They've been late and it's caused some delays. So I have a hard time with
Yeah.
American Airlines. But yeah, I know that you can get some really good value out of American Airlines for sure.
I do hear that all the time with American, people that fly American a ton. I do fly American a lot, but I think I've only had one really bad experience.
Yeah,
But I do hear that. I do hear that.
yeah,
So
it's a tough one.
essentially, right, I'm gonna talk about some of redemptions, how to get more value out of them when you hear me talk about transfer partners. That's what we're about to dive into right now.
Here,
And I
let's
just
go. Let's get
want
saucy.
to paint a picture for you guys. What's
Here we go.
possible,
Yep.
what are the options? But
Yep.
mainly when we're thinking about points and miles, we're thinking about airfare and hotels. We already touched on the car rentals. And the confusing part that a lot of people right get confused with is partners, alliances, and the point systems.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna show you guys really the places that you can transfer points and why that matters with each one of the systems that we talked about with the transferable points and systems that we'd mentioned earlier. So each credit system, they have different partners, they have different alliances. And this is an example of when I was talking about Delta having a maximized amount of value. So they may charge 140,000 Delta Sky miles to, let's say, book a business class seat over to Europe, right? To Amsterdam. They fly into quite a bit. But I can actually book Delta flights under Virgin Atlantic. Virgin Atlantic would be a point system that you can transfer to, and they're also a different airline. And so I can end up booking the same flight for a lot cheaper. So with under these alliances, under these systems, they may charge different rates. And so that's what we're taking advantage of is banking our points into another system where I can book the same flights. So I'm going to break it down a little bit for you. It's confusing, as we know. These are all the different airlines. These are all the systems and the types of points that you can utilize outside of built in here. But it can get confusing. All the airlines are under alliances. So when I say I like American Airlines and Alaska Airlines, is because you can book all of these flights under their system. So when I'm able to earn American Airlines points or earn Alaska miles, yes, I can book those flights, but because they're a part of an airline alliance across the world, you can then take advantage of that alliance and book flights under that system when you earn those points. So we got three main alliances throughout the world. Star Alliance, which is the largest one. I did a huge, huge call in another community about Star Alliance and how to really book a lot of those flights. You got One World and you have Sky Team. I'd say Star Alliance and One World are a lot better than Sky Team. And so these alliances, just understanding these alliances gives you an idea where if you start looking into a system or you start looking into a partner, you might be able to book other airlines with them. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Kind of
If
the airline alliances?
if you guys get that, put a 1 in the chat. If you need more clarification, put a 2. Because I know when I first heard this, this was hecka confusing. I had no idea how this really operated, and I didn't really understand these different alliances that they have. But in order to understand the fundamentals of what we're getting ready to get into, you have to understand these alliances, guys. Like I would screenshot this right here so you can know, if you don't know already, who these alliances are, who these partners are, because this is very important when you start transferring your points from different places. If you're trying, especially if you're trying to go overseas.
Mm-hmm. And then once you start like putting some of the nuances together or start trying to put trips together by utilizing alliances and partners, then you'll understand if you see a British Airways flight, you might be able to also book multiple other partners or airlines under British Airways. Right, so you'll check different systems. So let's actually break down, like, people ask me, what's the best way to use my American Express points? What's the best
There
way
we
to
go.
use my city points?
Yep.
So when I talk about transfer partners, this is what I'm talking about. So when you earn points in American Express or you earn points from the sign up bonuses with Chase or Built, you actually have the opportunity to transfer them to these systems, which is what I've been kind of preaching on here. So you have Air Canada, you have British Airways, you have ANA, Etihad, Virgin Atlantic. So you can transfer these points. So that's American Express. So I'm going to go through these pretty quickly because it's going to be pretty obvious that there's going to be overlap with a few of them as well. So Chase also has partners, Flying Blue, British Airways, right? Another overlap. Iberia, United, and then we have some of our hotel groups. Hyatt, I really like in utilizing Chase, which I'll talk about. Built, same thing. We got Emirates. Now they also have Turkish. City has Turkish as
Oh,
well.
wow. I didn't realize they had Turkish. Okay, cool.
Now this American Airlines isn't on here anymore, but it's Alaska. That had just changed 6 months or so ago. So when you start building points and building a strategy and adding cards, this is helpful to know because maybe you only have 80,000 points in American Express and you have 100,000 in Chase. You can then transfer to the same partner and be able to book flights with multiple different cards, multiple different points. You have City as well, right? So I like City for Turkish. I'll talk about one of their cards, the new Strata card. Singapore is really good. Eva Air. And when you see these, right, think about what I just talked about with the airline alliances, Star Alliance, One World. So if you are able to search for flights under Qatar, I know that they also are in the same alliance as British Airways, which is really nice. And I might be able to find better deals through Qatar, like better pricing than on British Airways. And one thing with that is it's actually pretty cool. Qatar and British Airways, you can connect your accounts. So just like you have a Delta account, a United account, the way that you search for availability is going to be creating an account with these partners, and you'll search through their system.
Nice.
So if there's a transfer bonus to British Airways, and I end up finding an availability through Qatar, I can actually utilize the transfer bonus to British Airways. It might be 25%, and our accounts can connect, and now I can still get additional points because our accounts are connected, and I can book it even cheaper through Qatar, which is really cool. Capital One is good. We'll talk a little bit about Capital One. I don't think Capital One's something that you should step into right away. Once you've established credit, once you have a few different credit cards and comparable credit limits, then Capital One can be really good because they do have good sign-up bonuses. And of course, they have the Venture X card, which is another lounge card that you can use. But they have also partners that we can utilize. And then last but not least, Wells Fargo in the last year, Built is separate. than Wells Fargo, even though they're kind of under the same hood. Wells Fargo now has an autograph card that has a few, not as many transfer partners, but they're stepping into the game of travel hacking and points and miles, which they weren't before outside of Built. So the ones that I use the most, like I said, I talked about that British Airways and Qatar connection, Virgin Atlantic, Air France, Air Canada, mainly because they use or they get quite a few transfer bonuses as well. How long does transfers take? It depends on the system. Some will take 24 hours, but majority of them literally take 10, 20 minutes. It doesn't take that long. But if you're doing like to the Asian airlines, like an ANA or a Singapore, they might take a little bit longer. And so I'm going to talk about this recently Amex to Hawaii to Alaska because this is a really good loophole to use. And I'll talk about it in a little bit.
That's a good one right there. I can't wait to hear that one.
Okay, so far though, I want to see where everyone is at. One's in the chat if it's making sense. If it's confusing, let me know. If I'm just babbling, let me know.
It's a lot of information, you guys. I get it if you don't get it the first time. You might have to like go back and try and grab it again, but it's a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely get it.
Okay, as long as you guys are understanding it.
Say they're rocking, yeah. Something say rocking, right?
Cool. So, the most common ones or my favorites to use, like we talked about, American Airlines, the best hotel system, in my opinion, is Hyatt. So when you earn Chase points, yes, you can transfer points into Marriott or Hilton, but the way they value their points is like very, how do I say it? They're just less valuable. It takes more points to be able to book a Marriott hotel or a Hilton hotel, so you don't necessarily want to transfer points into that system. You'd rather earn them just by having hotel cards or hotel credit cards. But I'll talk about Hyatt and why I think it's you don't yes, I have status, I have globalist status with Hyatt, so that gives me some extra benefits. But I think in terms of value for anyone, any type of traveler, Hyatt's going to be your best bet because you can book some really really solid hotels and get really good value for a minimal amount of points, which you can get from obviously multiple sign up bonuses. And Chase has a really good stack of cards on the personal side and business side to take advantage of. So when I look at the system as a whole, I like American and I like Hyatt. Those are my favorites. You can play the game in other areas, but I'm just going to talk about kind of mainly my experience and where I think anyone can really get the most value.
Nice.
So when we're talking about Hyatt, I booked this suite. I booked a normal room for 12,000 points. This was in Mexico City about a month and a half or so ago. And they put me in a $1,200 a night suite. So It cost me 12,000 points and they put me in $1,000 a night room. So I got almost $900 more value by booking Hyatt. Now, yes, I do have status, but this same hotel at a basic price, if a standard room was $350. So 12,000 points, you're still getting $250 more value by utilizing your points.
Nice.
And so I don't know why the internet's not really playing that that well. Or right, maybe you want I was in a standard room here in Mexico City. This is the Andaz overlooking Mexico City.
I love the Andaz.
Sick pool. Andaz is really cool kind of atmosphere. It's kind of chic, boutique
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah. I love the Andaz.
And that's what you guys will notice. One thing with Hyatt as well.
Yeah.
If you're someone that you like the all-inclusives, they have the most all-inclusives out of the hotel brands. This is my friend was able to book an all-inclusive, 30,000 points a night. They put him in a nice little corner room.
Nice.
That's his girlfriend.
Yep.
And so if you're interested in more of the all-inclusives, maybe you only go on 1 or 2 trips a year, then Chase points into Hyatt is going to be beneficial to you. Just have everything taken care of on the all-inclusive side of things, and they're good value because, as we know, all-inclusives can be $500, $1,000 a night.
Easy, easy.
And so if you can have a $5,000 trip taken care of with points, your food taken care of, your drinks taken care of, pretty good deal there.
That's a good trip right there.
So with that, with Hyatt and Chase, and like I said, Built can also transfer into it. So that's why Built points are really awesome. They're the only two that can transfer into Hyatt. The reason why I think it's very valuable for anyone is that even though I'm showing you what's possible with status and getting room upgrades, they have hotel categories 1 through 8, and they have off-peak times, standard times, and peak times. And so what I use Hyatt a lot for, which I wouldn't even need status for this to be able to get good value out of it, is if I want to spend 1 or 2 nights in a new city, or maybe I want to stop over. So when I'm going to Argentina, I'm actually doing a stopover in Dallas, and I'm spending the night there. And instead of paying $150 out of pocket, $200 out of pocket, I'm able to book that for 5,000 points, which is like $50 worth of value instead of spending $167 to stay there. So it gives you the opportunity to stay somewhere an extra day without spending any more money, and it doesn't really hurt your points that much at all.
Nice.
Grand Hyatt Tampa Bay, same exact situation where when I talk about value, almost $400 a night, and you're getting that's a standard room for 12,000 points. And you're going to get a lot of value when it comes to international trips as well. So 3,500 points on off peak, it's like $35 where you could stay Hyatt House, Hyatt Regency here. This is in Indonesia, Hyatt Places. And I actually really like Hyatt Houses and Hyatt Places. I'm not gonna lie, I know what I'm getting. The Hyatt Houses are literally like kitchens. So you
Did you
find those not bad.
did you just say $35 a night?
30, 3,500 points. In my opinion, if I haven't explained it to you guys, like points 1-to-1 ratio, 3,500 points would be like $35. 50,000 points would be like $50. That's kind of the 1-to-1 comparison. If you were
There
to
we go.
cash them out, right?
Yeah. So you're saying basically in an off, like on a category one, would a category one be almost a little bit higher than like a Best Western?
I think it's way nicer than a Best Western, to be
Okay,
honest.
way nicer than a Best Western. All right, that helps.
Yeah,
Because
like
when I travel some places in Europe, I'll stay at a Best Western and I'll be like, I'm good. This is in a good
yeah,
location. Doesn't cost that much money. I'm good, right? So you're saying basically with only 3,500 points, which is $35, like equivalent to about $35 a night, you can get
yep,
these rooms. Wow, that's huge,
yeah.
right?
That grew on for, let's say, even the sign up bonus with the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Let's say
Yeah,
you have the 80K sign up bonus.
right.
80 divided by 3.5. You get 22 nights, 22, 23 nights in one of those
Wow.
hotels on an off peak time.
So you basically
So
just told them how they can get a free flight, two one-way flights with using these Chase points, and then also staying at a hotel for 5 nights just by getting the sign-up bonuses from one Chase card.
just one sign up bonus, guys.
Just one. Wow.
And it's just knowing the information and the systems to use them,
Hmm.
right? You could do both those flights, 7,500. That's 30,000 points. And then you still have 10 nights, 10, 15 nights in a hotel if you wanted to.
Wow. If that's not beneficial, I don't know what is, but that's good. That's good sauce right there, bro.
So what we were just talking about, how do we even determine our points value? It's typically 1-to-1. But when we're doing flights, when I start breaking down flights and points for flights, this is how you're going to break it down. So when we're looking for availability, this is just going to show you the value. So you're going to take the cash cost of what that flight would cost. So this is an example of a flight I took from Tampa to back home. $320. If you were to use points at a 1-to-1 ratio, that's 32,000 points. Instead, like we talked about before, I utilized a transfer partner to be able to find the availability for that flight, and it was 9,500 points. So I'm getting 3 cents per point off the cash value. Instead, you would have, if you would have used, you would have purchased it in your Chase portal or in your Amex portal, you would have ended up spending 32,000 points. So that's what a lot of people do initially without knowing this information is yes, you're getting a free flight, which is great. That's the whole point of points and miles. But being able to understand the value of those points and how you can get more of those flights instead of burning your sign up bonuses faster. So it's just good to know kind of a formula that you can use when you're actually searching for availability and you get into the weeds. And so when I'm talking about the portals, that's what typically a lot of people will use the portals. You'll book through Amex, $569. It'll be 57,000 points. With some of the Chase cards, you get a little bit of additional value, 1.25 cents per point with the Chase Preferred or 1.5 cents per point. But we can still get more value elsewhere with the partners we talked about at 3, 4, 5x. And we even get more value out of transfer bonuses. So when I'm talking about transfer bonuses, this is a connection between the partners, the alliances, and the credit card companies. These will come out every month. There's typically a couple new ones every month or every couple of months, and they're targeted at certain systems. So once you start understanding how to search the systems, you may focus on that system because you're going to be able to save points by transferring points to, let's say, Air Canada.
Is this something that you guys are finding valuable? If you're finding valuable, let me see some emojis in the chat. Like, let Zac know that he's putting in some work right now because he put a lot of time into this slide deck and he's really trying to like give you guys some game. So just give us a little energy. Let me know that you guys are rocking with this information and then it's landing with you. Because this is stuff that you don't get every single day. You know, you're not getting people explaining this to you. And this is basically how you guys can travel for free, how you guys can stay at hotels for free, how you can actually take and go places around the world with you and your family for free. So I just want to make sure you guys are rocking with this and you guys are kind of grasping and understanding what he's dropping. All right,
And
cool.
let me know if you guys are already in points miles. Is this a little bit repetitive? Because, like I said, I always mention this because there's always new people who don't know how to use their points right away. So I want to make sure the foundation is put in for those new ones. And I'm about to, pretty soon here, I'm about to start talking about some redemptions and some cards and things that you can get into.
You know what? The one person I want to hear from, Doris, can you put a 1 in the chat if you're getting this and a 2 in the chat if you need more explanation? She's like that's my temperature check right there. She always lets me know. All right, go ahead, man. My bad.
You're good. And so when I keep talking about value, I look at it as a stock market. We put our money in the stock market to grow. So when we can put our points into systems to get more value out of them, why not do it? So I'm going to show you guys an international example. And then I already broke down this domestic example. But when we go international, right, the prices of international trips are more expensive. This is where you get even more value. You put $1 in, you get $10 out. So in international, this is actually a flight that I helped a friend book for his honeymoon. And I use this example all the time just because it's just a great redemption because we utilize the transfer bonus, which we talked about, and Air France as a system. So we were able to find, it ended up being 2, but I just made it easy just to show you 1. It was 73,000 miles, which already at a $5,000 ticket cost for a business class flight from JFK to Paris is already an incredible redemption. And that's just by utilizing Air France as a partner and finding availability. Now we get even more value by having the transfer bonus. With the transfer bonus, it was 20%, so it was 56,000 points. If we go back to the Amex portal and we were to book without this information, right, we're spending 580,000 points. People spend years, multiple years to be able to have that, and then it's gone in one flight. Same scenario, 1 sign-up bonus can help you do this. So you end up saving 524,000 points by using Air France as a transfer partner and also utilizing a transfer bonus. Now, this is the loophole I've been talking about and I have been using. So this is where we start getting into the actionable pieces. that I think you guys should look into if you have any upcoming trips, because I don't know when this is going to be patched, but it's going to be patched soon. So what's happening right now is Alaska and Hawaiian Airlines are now merging. They're merging together, going to become one. And before that, they were two separate airlines, two separate systems, and you could transfer your American Express points into Hawaiian Airlines. There's no other way to transfer points into Alaska without having Alaska credit cards. Like we talked about, I really like Alaska and American Airlines. They're one world. You can book Japan Airlines, you can book Qatar Airlines, you can book Finnair, you can book all of these airlines under that system. So now this loophole is available for you to be able to take one of the best systems that you can earn points with, American Express, and one of the best systems with some of the highest sign-up bonuses to be able to book flights, because you can transfer them into Hawaiian. So you would make a Hawaiian account just like you would any other account. You'd have an Alaska account, and then you could transfer Amex points when you find availability into Hawaiian, and then you would transfer your Hawaiian points into Alaska. Now we're able to use one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best partner booking systems, and some of the best value systems. So right now, if you guys are looking for flights, you see American Airlines is flying on a domestic flight. Maybe you check out Alaska Airlines flights and see if you can find something for 4.5, 6,500 points. And that's exactly what I've done over the last few months while this has been available. So hurricane hit. I'm out here in Florida. Hurricane hit. I ended up flying out, and the way that I got back, I used this loophole to be able to book. It was like $360 at the time on the way back from Nashville, or like Knoxville, and it cost me 4,500 points
Wow.
instead of paying $370 for that flight.
Wow. Now, how did you do that? You went from Alaska you booked it in through Alaska?
I booked it in Alaska, and I
Okay.
transferred American Express points into Hawaiian, and then I transferred Hawaiian into Alaska.
Okay.
And
So let me,
it really doesn't take that long once you guys have accounts,
okay.
and you do it a couple times. It's
Yeah.
a pretty fast process. Within 5 minutes, I had those points in my Alaska account,
Okay.
and that's how I was able to book it.
Let me go for this like a 10th grader, right? So
Okay.
you have an account with Alaska Airlines, you set up an account with Hawaiian Airlines, right?
Yep.
Two different accounts that you set up. You just very easily went online, set up accounts. Okay. So, and then you have an American Express credit card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you took your American Express credit card points and transfer them into Hawaiian Airlines, right?
Correct.
Did you book your flight through Hawaiian Airlines, or did you book it through Alaska? Through Alaska, right?
Booked it through Alaska. So
So then, yeah,
just like you would search on Alaska if you're looking for an Alaska flight,
yeah,
just like you're searching through Delta, I would just look there, and then there's a small little portion on there that you would say book with miles.
okay,
And so when you have an account, you're able to click that, and you're able
yeah,
to search, the destinations or the cities that you want to go to. And then it's going
gotcha,
to show you.
gotcha.
Yeah.
You're going to give
And
people an opportunity to learn like more in depth how to do this later on, right?
yeah, I can even show you guys. Can you guys see screen right now?
Oh, he's going in, you guys. You guys are getting a treat right here.
So like if I just did that B&A to Tampa,
Uh-huh.
well, I got to sign in here. Don't spam email me.
You put it out there now. Nice. Okay.
If I were to do this, B&A, Tampa, let's choose 28th. Use miles.
All right.
Tuesday, January 28th. 4,500 miles, refundable too.
Got it. Not
If I
bad.
want first class, I can literally do it for 9,000 miles.
Gotta love Alaska.
2 hour flight. Those are like, they have the best. Alaska right now to me has the best value
Yeah.
in terms of, using miles.
Yeah, I agree. So once again, you took your American Express points, transfer them to Hawaiian. Why did you just go from Alaska why didn't you just go from American Express directly to Alaska?
Not a partner.
Got it.
Not a partner.
Got it.
Can't transfer. None of the partners can transfer into Alaska. The only way you can earn points currently outside of that loophole, Alaska credit card or flying Alaska flights, cash paid flights. And
Got
as
you.
you can see, this is an American Airlines flight because they're
Yeah,
a part of One World,
got you. So I
right?
hope you guys caught that. Like for some of my people out there, like because American Express is not, you cannot take those points and go directly into American Express. But you can go into Hawaiian and then transfer your Hawaiian into Alaska because they just merged. So this is like fresh new game, you guys, that you guys are getting right here. You probably won't hear it anywhere else. So this is new sauce coming out for you. So if you have an American Express card, this is a way that you can utilize your points and maximize them. You guys got that? If everybody's rocking with me, put a 1 in the chat. I just want to make sure you guys are rocking with me. You guys can understand what he just laid out for you. This is a gem.
Mm. Now, I did the same thing with my flight to Rio. And now I just noticed that availability opened up directly from DFW. But when I originally booked this, I I booked it and there wasn't availability. It was only showing premium. Now it's showing that there's actually business class available. What I originally saw was that even if I checked that JFK to Rio, they were only having the same thing, premium. But I was able to book this flight, which is $5,000 for 60,000 miles and $18. So it's a $5,000 flight, and I'm on a 11-hour business class flight on the 777-200. And that's one thing I want to point out to you guys too when it comes to international bookings, just so you guys know. When you're looking at flights and you want to make sure that it actually has business class or lie flat seats, you want to look to see what the actual flight is. So if I were to look up 777-200 ER, business class, I can see what that experience is going to look like. Now, if it's a 737, it'll just be normal first class where you don't get to lie flat. So that's something to look at when you're looking at international stuff. But this is 60,000 miles, did the same exact thing. Hawaiian or Amex to Hawaiian to Alaska.
Zach, one quick question. I think this is going to be helpful for the group, so I want to make sure I ask it. If Alaska has the best value of point redemptions, why not just have an Alaska Airlines credit card? Why American Express and transfer to Alaska?
Well, with that, Alaska, like I don't really fly Alaska that much. Alaska's on the West Coast. But before this loophole, I was thinking about getting an Alaska card just because I knew their system and I like booking through their system. So when we talk about credit card strategy, if you already have American Express cards, if you the reason why you want American Express cards and Chase cards, they're good daily drivers. They're cards that you want to have every day because you spend on them and you can earn points off dining, off travel, off restaurants, off a lot of different expenses and earn points. And you can transfer them to 20 different partners. Or if you just have an Alaska card, you're only earning Alaska miles, so you're stuck with Alaska. So your daily drivers, you want to be in those transferable point systems, Amex, Chase, City, Built, because you continue to earn those points and you can transfer them. But if I get to a point where I already have those cards set up, I'm using them, and it is advantageous to my strategy because I know I might book a Japan Airlines flight or an international flight, then I might add that card because it gives me another option or another system that I can book through. So
Yeah.
you don't want to you can be stuck with just Chase, but why not have Chase and American Express? And if you fly American, why not have an American card? You know, but you don't want to do it all at once. You just do it when it is helpful to you and how much you travel.
And I can go deeper than that too. So if you have an American Express, what's really great about having an American Express is one, they have a ton of different cards, right? So you can get like their sign-on bonuses, or some of their sign-on bonuses are super, super huge. Like you can get an American Express for 150,000 points, right? Zach's going to tell you you can get an American Express for how many points, Zach?
You get a Amex Biz Platinum up to 250K is a targeted offer right now.
250,000 points. You can't do that with Alaska card. You can't do that. So you can get 200 and something thousand points. Do you know how many free flights that is? Do you know how many hotel stays that is? That's huge. So being in the American Express ecosystem really opens you up to even more travel, right? And just like Zach said, you can even use that to not just fly Alaska, but some of the other ones outside of that, other partnerships. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
question though. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, and Carrie made a good point. Like it gives you more options on how to use your points. And if you don't know this information, right, then you might end up spending 200,000 points on one booking. You just lost a whole sign up bonus when you could have had 5 of those bookings by utilizing partners and kind of understanding the systems that's at play. The more you travel, the more you put these things together, right? You start developing your own strategy, which I think is like a good dynamic between me and Deshaun. Like I'm full blown like travel hacking. He likes the convenience, but he's just just starting to get into using his points and conserving them too. And it allows you to travel more often. It allows you to plan these trips as well and to do stuff, with your family without thinking about the huge price tag attached to it all the time.
That's right.
So, as we talked about, right, credit cards, subs, spending, you earn the points, use alliances and partners. And we just literally just broke down this like strategy a little bit. But let's say, for example, you don't always have to use your points just because you have them. If the cash rate is good, like if for whatever reason, well, this is the international flight, but if we go back to the economy flight and it's 4,500 points, let's just say it's 10,000 points, and that flight's $120. You're gonna be pretty stoked if you didn't know about points and you could find that flight for $120. You know what I mean? So why waste the 10,000 points when you know you could find a better deal later? And then when we take our point value, which we broke down, that's like 1.2 cents per point when we know we can find something that might be 2 cents per point or 3 cents per point. So if you can get a good cash deal, use it instead of burning points. You'll find another deal another time. But I always say if it's your first time in points and it just feels good to get the free flight, just take it. I mean, that's the whole point.
Yeah,
That's the whole point of the points and miles.
I agree. Were you getting ready to talk about the companion pass?
I will, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And at the same time, too, if you want to just pay cash for your domestic trips and you want to be able to do like international trips are hard. They're expensive, and you want to be able to do an international trip every 2 years with your wife, your husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, your family. Then you may have a strategy where you're kind of stocking points up over a span of 2 years so that you can have the experience, the $10,000, $20,000 experience for pennies. So the other thing with strategy, like flexibility, is really important. So when I'm booking these flights, it may not have a Sunday availability or a Friday availability, because as we know, when people do weekend trips, that's all they want to travel on is a Friday or a Sunday. So the airlines are filling the cash flights. If those aren't filled, or if those cash flights are already filled, there's not going to be points availability all the time. But there's more availability on days that aren't as popular. So if you leave on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, those are good days for international flights because they're middle of the week. And so you're going to find better deals and better options when you're flexible with your dates. So we're going to touch on companion passes here real quick.
Yeah.
So there's 3 different areas that you can do companion passes. So this may fit into your strategy as well. If you just fly like domestically, it's just you and someone else. A companion pass allows you to have a companion that flies with you for free. All you pay is taxes and fees. So there's Southwest, there's Alaska, there's Delta. You can get it with Alaska and Delta through credit cards where they give you a companion pass. And Southwest is probably the most popular. But if you want your domestic travel to be a little bit cheaper and you just want to pay for one flight, a companion pass may be something that you want to look into because it saves you on, and you can do it as many times as you want. So your strategy might include that. I'll talk about the Southwest, how you can get it, and why even right now and at the end of the year is a really good time. So if you want to do the Southwest Companion Pass, a lot of people really like it. Same scenario, you just pay taxes and fees. You just get, as long as there's seats available, then that second seat is technically free.
This is a gem right here, you guys. He's about to break down this play. I don't Zach, the way you talk about it, you talk about it so nonchalantly. I'm here to tell you guys, this is a gem. Pay attention to this. This right here is game. This is gonna help you so much. If you're traveling and you have a friend or support or somebody you just want to travel with, he's gonna literally just show you how to run this game to get multiple trips per year using this play right here. So check this out.
And like if you're someone that likes, you pack big bags, like you're always checking a bag, or you snowboard, or you hunt, or you golf, right? Southwest is good because of the 2 check bags for free. So the way that you're going to earn Southwest, and I'll talk about the timing of this, but you can earn it by having 2 cards. So it's the priority personal card is what I'd recommend. They have 2 other personal cards, but you can earn it just based off the sign up bonuses. So technically it's either you fly 100 one-way flights in a year, which I don't think many people are flying that much, or you earn 135,000 total points. And I guess I forgot to put that on here. It's 135,000. So if you
You
get
got it.
2 cards,
You got it there.
130 here. So you're going
Yeah.
to end up 5K short. But the thing is, when you add the 2 cards and you hit the sign up bonuses, you hit the 5K. So one of them is a business card. It's the Premier Business, which is going to give you an 80K sign up bonus.
Yep.
And then one of the personal cards is going to give you 50K. So you're going to end up with 130K. But no matter what, you're naturally going to hit the 135K as long as you hit the sign up bonuses because you're going to earn points off that spend. So once you hit 135K, you earn the companion pass. Now, the thing with that is you want to do it at the start of a year or at the end of the year. Because when you get a companion pass, it's good for the entire year, the calendar year. So you can either get, let's say, the business card in December, November, but you want to be smart and make sure that you hit the sign up bonus after the year is over. So you can get the card early, spend 4K on that card up to the end of December, and then into the new year, you finish that 5K, you apply to the personal rapid rewards, and then you end up hitting that 1K in 90 days, which is pretty easy to hit. And then now you have that 135,000 points within the span of for the whole calendar year from January to December.
Did
So
you
you can
guys get
structure
that?
it, but timing is important too. So you don't really want to do this in the middle of the summer. You want to time it. And then if you want to, it's you have that for a whole calendar year, then you can do it again for the next year. Then your wife does the same exact play. Now you guys have it for another year.
So that's 2 companion passes, though, right?
Yep.
I don't know if you broke that down. I don't know if they caught that. So you're getting a companion pass, one with the personal, right?
You have to get it with either 100 one-way flights, which
Yeah.
isn't feasible for most, or
Right.
hitting 135,000 total rewards points.
Right. Right.
The way you earn those rewards points is it's allowed by the sign up bonus. So when you open this card, the personal card, it's going to be a 50K sign up bonus. When you hit the spend, you're going to get the 50,000 points. When you do the same thing with the sign up bonus over here, 80,000, once you hit the spend, that's 130,000. But when you hit the spend, the extra 5,000 delta is already hit because you've spent the money and you're earning points off that spend.
So when do they get they should get the Southwest personal card in January, right?
Yeah, you can do it at the beginning of the year, depending on how fast you can hit the subs, or you could time it at the end of the year. So you could get the card. Let's say it's when you hit the sign up bonus, you receive the points. So even though
Okay.
you spent in December or November, but you didn't hit the total 5K, you're not receiving those points until the new year. Does that make sense? And once you hit the sign up bonus, it might be 80K if you got the card in November or December. You spent 3K. Once you go into the new year, you hit the 5K, you get the total sign up bonus. Then and then you would grab the next card, and the 1K spend is pretty easy to hit, for most people. And then those sign up bonuses together will get you the companion pass. And if you wanted to, like I said, you could run that play again. One person does that the first year, then your companion does it for the next year, and then you get another companion pass for 2 years in a row. Make sense? Ones in the chat.
If you need it broken down
Perfect.
again, don't feel bad, because I had to have some again too, because I forgot about some of it and how that went.
If you did it right now, so if you did it right now, you would just hit those sign up bonuses within, let's say you hit it by the end of February, you would have 10 months of a companion pass because it's for the calendar year. So even now is a good time to do it because you're still getting a majority of the calendar year. So
So you
that
basically
might be some of
have
the
to,
part of your strategy.
yeah, you basically have to qualify for the personal and you have to qualify for the business within as soon as possible.
And these are chase cards though. So we'll talk about, I'll talk about Chase 524. Chase 524, if you guys don't know about it, is just a chase rule. If you have 5 personal cards within the last 24 months or more than 5, they'll auto deny you. So if you've applied to a ton of cards and then you try this, you'll get auto denied. So that's just something to think about if you want to get into the Chase family. That's why we focus on Chase initially, just because of their system. They have a couple internal rules, but you could get the Chase Sapphire Preferred and you could get both of these cards as well if you want a companion pass.
Did you talk about Alaska at all in their companion pass in the slide deck? I can't recall.
No, I wasn't going to break down all of them, but
Let me just break down Alaska.
Alaska,
Yeah.
Alaska is coming out with a new premium one. Do you know about that?
No, let me talk about the regular one, then you talk about the premium real quick.
Go ahead.
So guys, if you get an Alaska, if you get the Alaska card, and I know, Carrie, you travel Alaska. So if you get the Alaska card, you can get one companion pass every single year. But check this out. I'm going to show you how you can get 4. So with the Alaska card, you can get one companion pass every single calendar year. Then you can get a business. When you get one with your business, you can get the business card. That's through Bank of America. They're through Bank of America, by the way. So you get the business card. Now you get another companion pass every single year. So you basically, I just showed you how to get 2 companion passes with Alaska Airlines. But check this out. Now your spouse, Jackie, your husband, you and hubby, you guys want to take a trip over to Asia or wherever you want to go, South America. He gets the personal card. He gets a business card. Now you have 4 companion passes. You both are traveling. You're basically getting 2 trips for free every single year. If that's not sauce, you guys, I don't know what to tell you. Like literally, we're showing you these are the airlines you can get to fly for free. These are the airlines you can get to fly for free, not just using the sign-up bonuses, but also just having the card gets you a companion pass. You and your friend, you and your best friend, you and your girlfriend, you and your husband, you guys can be traveling the world for free. This is how you do it. So go ahead about the extra sauce on that one, man.
Yeah, so Alaska's coming out with a new premium card. It hasn't launched yet, but before the end of the year, they allowed you to sign up for the card. And if you signed up to get updates on it, you could get 5,000 extra Alaska miles if you ended up applying to the card. Now, with that, it's actually including a companion pass. I think I have it pulled up here. Let's see. Okay, it's 500, not 5,000.
You're going crazy with
But
it.
it was 500. But this is interesting because they don't necessarily have a premium card. A lot of the other airlines do. They only have two cards, right, Deshaun? A business
Yeah.
card and a personal card.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I know about.
And so they're also giving you passes to Alaska lounges. You don't know how much passes
Yes.
you're getting, but you're getting passes to the lounges, which is nice.
And those are really nice. Alaska Airlines lounges are dope to have for sure.
And I believe there's something really cool. Okay. Award bookings, if you have it, award bookings are waived, so you don't have to pay like the $12 or $19. The annual fee is going to be $395, so I'd say that's like pretty decent.
Yeah.
3 times per dollar on foreign purchases and dining, which is good for an airline card specifically. And then, yeah, this is the cool thing about their companion pass. Alaska is confirming that the companion certificate will be valid for any class of service, first or business class. Like you don't really, which is crazy, which means you can book a first class ticket and your companion get a free first class ticket next to you.
Huge.
And and
Woof.
it's saying with partner mileage awards, which is insane, which who knows if that's going to change. But if you were to book a Japan Airlines or a Qatar Q Suites partner airlines, that means the companion could work for partner airlines, which is like pretty much unheard of for a companion pass, which would be crazy.
Can I
So we'll
drop
see if
another
that
one?
actually happens,
That'll be
but
dope.
it's
Check
pretty
the other
cool.
part out, guys. You can book this for somebody else and it still works. Like if I have a companion pass, I can actually book my flight for you to travel and use my companion pass. The only thing you have to do is I have to be the one to book it and I have to use my credit card. So just knowing me, you might get a free flight sometime. I got you, Doris. Doris has the Alaska Airlines miles. So don't let them go to waste. You can actually bless your family member or bless one of your friends and let them go on vacation because you have this card. Sauce. I didn't know that
It's
until like last year, so I thought that was I was
pretty
like,
cool.
yeah, it's
I
really
like
good.
that.
Yeah.
And so then, like I said, I was going to show you guys kind of a live type of booking. So someone let me know maybe an upcoming trip that you're thinking of. I'm going to show you like my thought process. And
Yeah.
if no one has anything, then I can just go
No, I
through
got one.
what I booked.
Yeah. First person in, Alexis.
Hawaii.
That is a dope place to
Okay,
visit.
what island and where are you flying out of?
Yeah.
What city are we flying out of? LAX. I mean, Hawaii, Seattle, LAX, Maui. We going to Maui because I went to Maui
San
before.
Francisco. She's in Frisco to Maui.
San
Very
Fran.
dope. Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm going to look for an award redemption, I really like using this tool, Flight Connections. Why? Flight Connections is going to be able to give me the direct flights into a certain city, and then it's going to be able to show me the airlines that fly that. So if we're flying San Francisco, Jesus, there's just so many.
Yeah, you gotta up, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here. So now we know Alaska flies direct. And this is a free version. You guys can use this. Alaska flies direct, Hawaiian Airlines flies direct, United Airlines flies direct. So if I know that, I can then look over here, SFO to Maui. And when I'm doing this stuff, when I'm doing award bookings, I always book one way. Reason being, if you book a round trip, you may pick the 3rd through the 8th. There may be availability on the 3rd, but there may not be availability on the 8th. So when you search on the partner systems, it will say nothing's available because both of those legs have to be available. So that's why you want to search one ways first, because like I said, flexibility can be important.
You taught me that, Zach. I didn't know about
Hmm.
that. One way
And
joint.
honestly, like flights to Hawaii are pretty cheap. And this is hot, like this is hot time to go to Hawaii because it's whale season. So like, look at that. I mean, we got $99 flights here, which is crazy. So if you wanted to, I mean, I would just pay cash already. Um, but if these were like $500 flights or $600 flights, Hawaiian, I know Amex can transfer into Hawaiian, but I can't really book Hawaiian through many other partners. United, I know I can book through Air Canada. or I can go on United and check their system because I know I can transfer Chase points into United and see if I can get a better value there. But right now, there's also a transfer bonus into Air Canada. So I would go on Air Canada. I would search for the same date and time and see if I can get something.
Let's take a look.
Delta. Yeah, we can. It'll be Airbnb. What will happen though is I'll have to log in. It may take up
Oh,
some time.
oh,
But
okay.
usually what I do, guys, is I have the apps on my phone. So it's a lot easier to log into the apps on your phone because you don't have to keep logging in. Because this is going to send me an email
Oh, okay. Never
and
mind.
whatnot.
Yeah, yeah.
Like all this CAPTCHA stuff. But
Gotcha.
essentially, I would look for the same stuff in Air Canada.
Gotcha.
But this is like when I'm just working through what I know and the systems and the flights. Now, if I were to do an international booking, let's do something like
You want to go
Paris,
somewhere?
because people
Okay,
will be
Paris.
like, yeah, anyone got any international stuff they're looking at? I
Yeah, yeah.
know Johnny was going to Bali.
There you go.
Bali, you can't necessarily fly
Hold on.
directly.
Jay's going to Bali. Or no, India.
Jay has India.
India.
So if you and I can already tell you this um, just by Bangalore. India, if you're going to fly into India on points, you're going to have to fly into Africa somewhere or the Middle East. Because, and this is how I'll siphon this. International airports in India, or if you guys, yeah, like you're going to hop from Europe or the Middle East or Africa. So like Delhi. So watch. If I want to go in the New Delhi, this is going to give me direct flights because if you're in Kansas City, you're going to end up having to pay for some type of connection. Those connections are going to be typically more expensive. So your best bet in terms of finding award availability is to book award availability into an international airport to international airport, and then just pay the $100 or $150 it takes to go to Chicago. And that's where we also benefit from Hyatt. If we want to go there a day early, we can spend a night there. We don't pay any extra cash. Then we can go to the airport, simple and easy, without going in and out of security and whatnot. So if I want to go to Delhi, Air India or United Airlines. Air India, there's not any transfer partners with Air India. IAD, Air India. So this is like I do a lot of bookings for people. And like that's why if you want like a good travel redemption, you're going to want to fly into Europe and then over there, or into Istanbul and then over to India, or Africa and then to India, because yeah, that's where we're getting a little bit in the weeds. But this uh, flight connections is a great way to just kind of understand possibilities, just like we did before with the domestic flight, but understanding the airlines that fly.
How many people knew about flight connections in the chat? Put a 1 if you've heard of it. Put a 2 if you never knew about it. Manetta knew. Okay, Jessica knew. Jay knows. Anybody else? Henry didn't know. Okay, cool.
And so why that's cool too, like London obviously has a ton of connections, right? But if my home airport's Dallas Fort Worth and I can't find availability there, I have other cities that I can check to see if I can get, let's say, a business class flight availability. So then I can still, if I want that experience, if I want that type of vibe, then I might look at other airports. And that's exactly what I did with my flight to Rio. Like I looked at every South American city, Bogota, Rio, Santiago, Buenos Aires, because I'm really going to end up in Buenos Aires, but I couldn't find availability into Buenos Aires, but I knew it'd be like 11-hour flight. So that's how I siphon through the cities I'm working for,
Nice.
or I'm going to search for. And then if I really want to, I'll use Seats.aero. There's a professional version of this. This will help with searches. as well to make them easier. So let's say I were to JFK, Atlanta, Miami, DFW, Houston. JFK, Miami. And so if I were to do, I can choose the amount of days if I'm flexible. That'll be 7 days in front of that date, 7 days behind it. And this will also give me some better options.
This is a great site to go to also, you guys, if you're not familiar, seats.aero. That's seats.aero. They have a free version and a paid version.
And so, yeah, the international stuff is where things become nuanced. Like Johnny's going to Bali, but Bali doesn't really have any direct connections. You have to fly into Tokyo or Singapore. And also, a lot of those Asian airlines don't work. I like better than points.me, CSAT Aero for sure, better than points.me. One that I would like even more than points.me is points.yeah. Points.yeah is really good. I like points.yeah better, in my opinion. But this is what I'll do as it's loading. You can siphon it or filter it from low to high.
Nice.
Yep, layover in Singapore. Yeah, because I ended up booking some flights for someone a couple months ago to fly Cathay Pacific into Hong Kong, and they were going to Bali. Rome.travel is pretty good. The reason why I like points.yeah though is because let's just pick a random. I don't think I'm signed in, so we'll see.
Man, you don't want to come out here to LA, man. These fires are tearing us up. You might
They
find
give you
expensive flights.
um, I'll have to log in, but the reason I like points.yeah is on Rome.travel and point.me, it only gives you one date. So you have to keep, choosing a different date to see other options. Points.yeah will give you like 2 days before and 2 days after. So it'll
Nice.
show you the points up top. It's like the lowest is 5,000 points. It'll show you on Tuesday there's one for 8,000 points. So you can kind of choose your flexibility in terms of what's available there.
Nice.
And so if there's places like India, like I said, I will literally type in international airports. I'll check those airports on flight connections to see if there's any open availability with certain airlines or certain partners. And then when I know about partners and systems, then I can start searching the platforms, or I can use seats.aero to help me a little bit as well. But a lot of those Asian airlines, when you're going to Korea and Tokyo and Vietnam and Singapore, they won't show up on something like seats.aero. Like Japan Airlines availability won't show up, but it might show American Airlines. Cathay won't show up. There's certain Asian airlines, Starlux, that doesn't work well for.
Nice.
So that's when you understand the systems and the partners a little bit. Then you can search other spots. And you have to do it manually. Like 3 years ago, guys, it was literally I was going into every single system, every system searching manually. So now we have a couple of tools that can help us.
Let's go.
So was that helpful? Was that helpful to like kind of see like a walkthrough or a thought process? I know we talked about wanting to kind of show a live look at things. Drop ones in the chat if that helped out at all. Let's go. Perfect. Okay. Lounge access, the coveted lounge access. I'm going to talk a little bit about this if you don't know already, right? The way that you can get into Delta Sky Club, Centurion Lounges, Priority Passes. The way I get into them is the Amex Platinum. It has a high annual fee, but if you travel enough, that's $30, $50 that you're not having to pay for in terms of food and drinks. Quick little hack with that. Well, I'll give my opinion on there's new Delta Sky Clubs. MSP has it. LAX I got to experience. The new Delta Sky Clubs, really nice. I really like them. They're freaking huge. This is the one in LAX with a view of the tarmac. Centurion lounges. There's new Centurion lounges in Atlanta. This one's really nice as well. I'm gonna be able to get to yeah, I can speak on the on the retention offers. And I'll speak on a way that you can also kind of um lower your annual fee and or
Yeah,
your
please.
partner can get access to it too. But I'm going to be able to experience this JFK Centurion Lounge as a speakeasy there. So if you guys
Nice.
follow the YouTube or subscribe there, I'll do a video on that. There's priority pass lounges. This is in Punta Cana, literally a pool. So for whatever reason, if you packed a a swimsuit in your bag and you want to swim before your flight, you can go right ahead
Nice.
and do
Hey,
that.
who offers priority pass though? Do you know who offers
A
priority
lot of
pass?
cards do.
I know, yeah,
A
I
lot of
have a
cards
priority
do.
pass. Yeah.
Amex Platinum,
Okay.
Venture X, the Reserve card.
Yeah.
There's a couple
That's
others as
the
well with
Chase,
some of the hotel cards.
the Chase Reserve. You get priority pass, right?
Yep, Chase
Yeah.
Reserve. And I'll talk a little bit about that one as well in the next slide.
Okay.
But even though it's a high annual fee, I know Johnny talked about retention offers. You can, after you pay that first annual fee the first year, you can ask for a retention offer. What a retention offer is essentially you can reach out through phone, you can reach out through chat and tell them, I'm not getting, you basically scare them into you canceling the card, that you're going to cancel it. They want their annual fee and they also don't want to lose customers swiping on their card. So typically what they're going to offer you is a retention offer, which is if you spend 3K in the next 3 months, then we'll give you 35,000 points. So essentially you're getting an extra $350 back. You can also ask for a cash rate back, $350, which would go off of your annual fee. Technically it doesn't because the time that you hit the spend amount, you've already paid the annual fee. You just agreed to keep the card. So it's like a statement credit. So you'll save $350 later, but that's a retention offer. You can reach out to them, you scare them, you say that you aren't utilizing the benefits. What I noticed, if you actually do use a lot of the benefits, the retention offers are lower. So if you actually don't use some of them, they're going to give you a higher retention offer. Every single year I do this and I've gotten one. Some people are hit and miss where it's like every other year they'll give you a retention offer and one year they won't. So it can be hit or miss on how you are, but you always reach out for a retention offer. Why not pay less for your annual fee or earn points by keeping the card?
Yeah, because that American Express one hits you pretty heavy. That's a 695 right there.
For sure. Now they used to they used to have they used to allow you to bring a guest in to the Centurion lounges. Now they do not. 2 years ago they won't allow you to do that because they've gotten a little bit busier. So one way, instead of getting both you and your spouse two Amex Platinums, what you can do is add them as an authorized user. What that means is they'll get another card. It'll cost you an extra $200, so that annual fee would go $695 to $895. But instead of having two $695 annual fees, you now only paid $200, and they're still going to get access to the lounges. They're still going to get a hotel credit with the Amex Platinum. So you're
That's
going to get
200 bucks.
$200 towards fine hotels and resorts, um, or a hotel collection hotel. So they're going to get a lot of the benefits that you already get from the Amex Platinum, and instead you're saving $500.
Can I tell
So
them a
both of
play?
you guys can travel together, and it's
Yep.
usually $50 to $80 if you're going to pay out of pocket.
So this is the other play. So you get your partner that what do you call it? Authorized user card, and then you book the hotel for a certain amount of stay, say 3 nights, and then they book one for the next 2 nights or 3 nights.
Mm.
And now you get $200 when you check in of money that you can use at that hotel. And then the next reservation that they booked, you get another $200. So basically you can like use that for a restaurant. You can use that for spa. You guys can get massages. You guys can both get massages. So that's a huge play. And then right then and there, you've pretty much made your $200 back just off of one hotel stay. And there you go. And you can do that
Mm-hmm.
throughout the year. You guys can keep doing that as all the different hotels that you guys stay at. And then now you guys are getting $400 credit at each hotel that you guys stay using your American Express. Boom. That's another play.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't, I literally just, well, I was going to do this, but if you don't use your $200 hotel credit, so the hotel collection, they require you to choose 2 nights, but they're typically a little bit cheaper hotels, but they're still nicer. Cheaper as in $150 to $500 a night. Um, and then fine hotels and resorts, you're only required to book 1 night. But if you don't use the hotel credit, you can still get that credit for the calendar year because it's per calendar year. You just book a weekend in the new year. So you've technically paid for that, if paid for that booking in 2024. So you're using that credit even though you booked a weekend in 2025. So if you didn't use it and you still want to use your hotel credit and not put it to waste, just pre-book a trip
Yeah.
or a weekend somewhere.
And I think hotel collections, if I'm not mistaken, one of them is it's no fine hotels. They give you $100, not 200 every stay. But every time you
Yep.
book the fine, you get $100. So I'm sorry, I take that back. The first one that you guys use, you're gonna get that $200 that comes with your card, and then so you'll get $400. But then afterwards, you can get $100 per stay if you do it that way. So that's ended up being $200 credits.
Mm-hmm. And so if you want lounge access, I'd recommend the Platinum. Now, where there is some other options, but it really depends on where your home airport is, in my opinion. I prefer the Preferred. This is the Reserve. This is more the higher tier card. It's a $550 annual fee. You do get access to all the Chase lounges. So if you're in Boston, LaGuardia, JFK, I don't think there's anyone here in Hong Kong. Phoenix, San Diego, and Houston, those are where Chase Sapphire lounges are. So if that's your home airport, you're traveling quite a bit, the Reserve might be worth it for you. In terms of lounge access there, they also give you $300 travel credit and priority pass, but it's specific to these lounges. Chase lounges are great. Capital One lounges are also really nice. One really cool thing about Capital One lounges is they're pretty much like the only lounge system that lets you take, they have like grab and go food. So you can hang out at the lounge for 2 hours and then they'll let you take acai bowls or sandwiches with you on your flight. So if you want to stock up, they'll literally give you a bag to stock up on food, which is really nice, but there's not that many of them. DFW, Denver, and DC. And then soon they're going to be opening up in Vegas and JFK. Vegas seems to be, they got some Chase Sapphire lounges coming. Vegas is stocking up on some lounges. They have a Centurion there as well. But the Venture X is a good card. Lower annual fee at $395. You have a $300 travel credit, which essentially brings it down to $95. TSA global entry credit, which is pretty standard on a lot of the luxury travel cards.
Yeah.
And then of course, priority pass, Capital One Lounge access.
Yeah.
But I would say Capital One, make sure before you move over to Capital One that you just already have your personal credit built up. At least you have some comparable credit limits, because Capital One is a little bit tighter. They pull all 3 bureaus. Most cards are only just going to pull one bureau. When I talk about bureaus, it's Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. Those are the credit bureaus. So they'll pull all 3 inquiries. So you want to hold them off when you're kind of later on your strategy, because you don't want a low limit card and you don't want 3 inquiries. And to me, the Platinum is just more advantageous to everyone, unless you're in these cities where you're going to get more benefit with those lounges.
Yeah.
And I like the Preferred because you get one one pass, and I don't have a Chase Sapphire lounge, and it's a $95 annual fee. It has all my travel insurances included as well. So
Yeah.
okay, so if you guys, we've mainly talked about, I know we've mentioned business cards as well. If there's a way for you to even get 200 to 500,000 additional points, it'd be pretty. How many more trips would you guys be interested in that? How you can earn more points, how you can get more points. Drop ones in the chat if you want to earn more points, because there's not as many options in the personal side. But when we start bouncing into the business side, we'll talk about the differences here.
Let's go. This is big time right here, guys.
So we always, initially with travel hacking, with credit in general, we start on the personal side. For one, we want to build a relationship with the bank. We want to make our payments and build that relationship, shaking hands. which will eventually help us on the business side if at some point you want to have a business. Good thing about business cards, you get much larger subs than the personal side. So when we talked about the 250,000 sign up bonus with the Biz Platinum, that's a lot larger than the all-time high sign up bonus of the personal platinum at 120K. Double the amount. So you can earn more points, more spend. Business owners typically spend more money. So I know Johnny's an Amazon FBA. He had just mentioned, you can get an extra companion pass into the lounges if you spend 75K a year. So I bet you he's hitting that because he's doing Amazon and ecom. So if you're a business owner, you're typically spending more money, and that means you can earn more points when you put the right cards into place. So more points equals more redemptions, which equals more trips. If you're a content creator, it's lifestyle marketing. Imagine being able to book business class flights, create content, help with coaching, help your business.
Yeah.
The other difference too, which I'll mention, the reason why people step into business cards, yes, they have 0% APR offers, but business cards, I like to mention this, they don't report to your personal. So when you want to make investments or you want to spend a large amount of money, or maybe you want to hold a balance for a certain amount of time, you can do that on business cards and it won't affect your ability to get lending, to get car loans, to get mortgages, to get personal loans. So when you put money on the business side, it really helps you so that you're not in high utilization by holding a large balance on personal cards if you don't have enough personal credit limits. So you may not be thinking about a business now, but at some point you might want to. And that's also why we like Chase and American Express and building a personal relationship with them first, because you can actually apply to their business cards as sole proprietors without an LLC if you don't have a business set up yet, but you're trying to get something going, and LLCs. So there's multiple options with them. And
Hold
they're
on
some of our
one
favorite
second.
systems.
1 second before we go too far here. I just need to know how many people own or have a business already set up. In the chat, put ones, and if you don't have a business set up, put a 2, just so we can know where you're at. Because we're literally getting ready to show you how you can get like 3 times what we've talked about already. All right.
50-50 split, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is, a business, technically, you could just be reselling items to make some money on the side. A business in general, if we're going to be very like 5th grade level, it just allows you to have protection under an LLC.
Exactly. And the even great news about these cards that he's talking about, you guys, is let's just say you don't even know what kind of business you want to start right now, right? You have no idea what business it is. But let's just say you're good at consulting people, like talking to people, right? You can set up your business as a sole proprietor, meaning you don't have to go and set it all up like an LLC or a corporation. You don't have to do all that. You can just have a sole proprietorship, use your own social security number, and call it that. That's your business, and call it Carrie McDonald, right? And then that's your sole proprietorship if you wanted to do that. Now, Chase will give you a sole proprietor business credit card. American Express will give you a sole proprietor credit card, and you can use these to build up the same amount of points so you can double. So that same 200,000 that we were talking, or that 150,000 that you would get with American Express points, now you can get another one because you have a sole prop set up, right? So now on year 1, we showed you how you could travel and use those points for free. Year 2, if you wanted to, you can get even more points. But guess what? On year 3, let's say now your consulting business is actually something that you decide you want to do, or you really want to take business to another level. If you want to, or you don't, you can set up an LLC. And now your LLC, you can get even more cards under the American Express umbrella, and some of these other credit cards that will offer you their credit cards. You can use those as well. So essentially, when you have a business, it's going to give you tons more points, right? And like I said, you don't even have to have all the bells and whistles of having the EIN and all that kind of stuff set up. You may not even know what kind of business you want to start, but it just sounds good and you're just exploring it because I mentioned it to you here today. You can literally just fill out the application as a sole prop and you can get these cards. Boom. And
Great point.
the other benefit when you get these, let's say you happen to run up a balance and you can't pay it off in full right away, right? So, for instance, with the Chase card, the Chase card, they'll give you 0% for 12 months, right? So now you have a balance on that card, but if you have it as a sole prop, it's not going to show up on your personal credit, right? So that balance is not going to drop your personal credit score down. And you can still keep going and using this card and going on vacation. You have 12 months to pay it off in full before they start charging you the interest. So just a little gem out there for the people that don't know that kind of information. Some of you guys do know that already, but if you didn't know, that is how you can even double and triple the amount of points that we're talking about. And guess how often you can open up a business? A new business. Guess how often you can open up a new business? Anybody got a guess? I'll help you. Don't worry. Every 24 hours, you can be opening up a new business. Every 24 hours, you can open up a new business. So how many credit cards can you have? This is credit card stacking. It doesn't matter what state. It doesn't matter. You can have it in the same state. It doesn't even matter. So that is the benefit, just one small benefit of having your own business. All right, or two benefits I've dropped in there. Go ahead and keep rocking, Zach. I just wanted to make sure they understood that point.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. It's really important, and it's super helpful, not just on the travel hacking side with points accumulation, but just in general, putting yourself in a position where if you have high personal credit limits, putting spend on the business side is kind of ghost. So it's not going to, holding balances on the personal side aren't going to, well, if you do hold balances on the personal side, a lot of utilization, we don't want your score going down. So it's not going to hurt you from getting mortgages, car loans, personal loans, things of that sort. But in general, when we start talking about this, I know I'd mentioned it before, Chase 524 rule. It is, like I said, it's 5 cards. If you get 5 cards within 24 months, Chase will auto deny you, and that's personal cards. So that's why we like to focus on Chase. That's why I'm mentioning it, because you shouldn't just go crazy applying to every travel card possible, because you might just shun yourself out of Chase unless you have a relationship manager. I know both me and Deshaun have relationship managers when it comes to helping people with business cards. Um, but then you're not going to be able to get access to some of the other personal cards. So if you can't get access to a Chase Sapphire Preferred or a Chase Reserve, then you might not be able to transfer your points. Right. So make sure that you have a little bit of a strategy when it comes to applying to cards, that you're not going crazy. And Chase is, a tier 1 ecosystem for us when it comes to points. So if I know there was a few people as well who had mentioned they didn't really even have that many personal cards. So when I'm talking about a personal setup, if you're trying to get started with cards that are in ecosystems that we're interested in, you're trying to get started in building relationships with tier 1 banks, and you might eventually want to start a business or a sole proprietor, then this is what I'd recommend. These are heavy holds for me. I'd recommend the American Express card. Great for personal side, personal spend. 4x on groceries. Best in the business there. Groceries, restaurants. That's a high spend item. We all spend a lot of money on food, restaurants, going out. 2x on travel, book directly. 1x on everything else. Why do we want to start with this card on American Express? I would say you can start with American Express. This is a charge card. So the platinum and the gold card, they're charge cards. So they don't necessarily have limits. So if you are building your credit out a little bit, you want to get some higher limit cards, which is why the Chase Sapphire Preferred card is really good too. But with American Express, really cool item. If you start on the personal side, they'll hard pull you once. And I'll talk about a nice little sequence that you can do as well after in terms of travel. But then after that, once you built a relationship with American Express, once you're in their system, they will not hard pull you again. which means you can apply to multiple cards, personal and business, to be able to, without any hard inquiries on your report, which is really great. The second piece is, if you're going to start with American Express, maybe you see the big shiny silver card of the platinum. You should start with the gold card first, because they had just changed over the last year their lifetime language, which means if you
I
get
did.
the
Who changed
platinum,
that?
if you get the platinum before the gold card, you're not going to be eligible for the sign up bonus on the gold card. So that's why you want to start with the gold card before the platinum, because then you can access two sign up bonuses, an extra 100,000 points, 80 to 100,000 points on the personal side. So start with the gold,
Fire.
so you're axed out of the lifetime language offer as well.
Fire. You guys, I hope you guys picked that up. He went over that really super fast. That is a gem. You want to get that American Express Gold first, personal, on the personal side. I have to reiterate that. That is so important. If you guys have not wait, who's not in the American Express ecosystem for right now? Who's not? Put a 2 in the chat if you're not in the American Express ecosystem, because that is something we got to help you with. All right. We got to help you, Jay. We got to help you, Gloria. You can apply for 2 American Express cards at the same time, same inquiry. Zach, we're going to touch on that in just a minute. Carrie, we got you. We're going to help you out. You got to get into this card. So can I tell them about the American Express Act? Should we even tell them about that real quick, about the inquiries, or should we wait to talk about that another time?
What, the next sequence, or yeah, fill them in. Whatever's coming to your mind, drop it.
I don't know, man. I don't know if we should hold back.
We wait a little bit.
I don't want to. So check this out, you guys. This is one of the benefits, since you guys are here and you guys are rocking with it. I'm just gonna let you know this. When you're in the American Express ecosystem, if you go, did you already mention this? If you go in with the personal side first, all the rest of your inquiries, hard inquiries that when you apply, they will not count against you. You will not get another hard inquiry for the life of you applying for American Express once you have an American Express personal credit card with them. So it's important to get in on the personal side first, right? If you go in and get a business American Express, and then you try to get a personal, or you try to get other one, you're going to get another hard inquiry, right? So get yourself in on the personal side first, and then you can have all access to applying for all their different credit cards with no hard inquiry. And as long as you treat that relationship right, they will treat you right. Right?
Yeah. Trenton, yes, it would, but that's why we sit with Chase first. We go with Chase first. This is just kind of a sequence, but that's why you want to go with Chase. You actually can't have the preferred and the reserve at the same time. So as long as you get one of them early on when you're building out your credit, then you're good. You can also upgrade to the reserve if you want to, or downgrade to the preferred if you want to. There's also a secret hack too. You can receive the Chase Sapphire Preferred sign-up bonus again after 48 months. So I've had this card. I'm actually due for this. I've had this card for like 6 years. So technically I could downgrade this card to a Freedom Flex and then reapply to the Sapphire Preferred when it has an 80K sign-up bonus later on. So once you hold this card, this is a keeper card in my opinion. All these cards are keeper cards. Like, you just want to hold in your wallet. You want to have that relationship built. You can then reapply to it 4 years down the line and get another 80,000 points. So that's a nice one. Nice little rule there. But yeah, you want to start with Chase first, like we had mentioned before, because of 524. And then you can kind of run these sequences with other cards. So this is where I'd say you're building with Amex, Wells, Chase, because they have personal and business cards. Built as well, no annual fee, good travel card. They do have the secret sign up bonus, spend 10K in the first 5 days, get 5x points, up to 50,000 points. But you can get points for paying your rent, which is really good. And you're building that relationship with Wells, who also has a business card. Chase has multiple business cards, which we'll talk about, but still very great card. Now I added City Strata mainly because I like City Points. I'm starting to like City Points, and I think this card is really good. It's new as well. And so if you're cognizant of Chase 524, or let's say you go for these cards your first year or first 2 years, and then you want to think of the City Strata card, I'd recommend this because you're getting city points. It has a 75K sign up bonus, 10 times travel through city. So if you book your rental cars through that as well, you'll get some good points. 3x groceries, restaurants, very good solid earning capability. So this is a good setup because they're all tier one cards with tier one ecosystems and alliances. They're good relationships to build on the personal side and for business. Chase will keep increasing your limits if you ask them to as soft pulls, so you can get those comparable limits. And they have really good solid spend categories. These are all keeper cards in my opinion. And if you guys want, maybe you don't have much personal credit built up yet, and you want to make sure that you are approved for these cards. Amex and Wells Fargo have pre-qualified tools. So if you type that in, American Express pre-qualified tools, if you have an account, they'll show you kind of what offers are available to you, or that you're already pre-qualified for, which means essentially you're more than likely to get approved for those cards. So that's a good positioning tactic if you're looking to apply, to check out those pre-qualified tools to see if they have offers available to you as well. So that would be, if you're just starting to get set up, building good relationships, travel points, this is a good setup to start with. In terms of approvals, what I literally just mentioned, Built helps if you have a relationship or checking account with them. It's not completely needed, but usually when you're applying to these cards too, I just recommend doing it in a certain amount of time, like within a couple week span. These are all going to pull Experian as well. So do it in a sequence, build out your credit, then kind of let it sit and don't apply to any like newer cards for, let's say, 6 to 12 months. But when it comes down to these cards, because they are tier one, if you want to make sure you're getting approved, you can, American Express, you can open up a high yield savings account with them if you want to data mine with them, because relationships are important in terms of approvals. You can do the exact same thing with Chase. They have a $300 checking offer right now as well. So you can earn $300 by just opening an account and depositing money into it. And that's the way that you're building a relationship before the credit card if you want to help with approvals. Another thing with approvals, even if you're an entrepreneur, just say you're full-time employed, it looks good to the banks when when you're employed, they know that you have a consistent amount of income coming in, versus it's kind of a red flag if you say you're self-employed. Stated income can include a household if you're 21 plus. So if it's you and someone else, you can include stated income on both of your guys' salaries if you wanted to.
Yep. And if you have a job, put direct deposit into a Chase account. If you can show your direct deposits going directly into your Chase account. So just start, if you want this card, start building out the relationship like Zach's saying, but start getting all the products that don't require you to have to get credit approval. So getting, like he said, a CD account, getting direct deposit, and some of that. So if you don't have a Chase account, let us know. We can send you over our a way that you can actually get your $300 offer as well. So we have a link to be able to help you out with that as well.
And other ways that you guys can earn points after getting these cards is referring your own card to friends. So if you guys are looking to check out any of these cards, reach out to me and Deshaun. Obviously help support us. We can earn some more points, keep putting out content and doing redemptions and whatnot, because it's always helpful to have more points. So always search for that. Sometimes referrals also have higher targeted offers. So maybe what you see online or what you're seeing on the website, I may have a 20,000 point difference. Or you can even search on Google and try to see if there's a higher targeted offer that you can get. Because if you can get a higher targeted offer and get an extra 20, 30, 40,000 points off your application, why not take advantage of that? So don't just kind of ape in just to what the website has. There's other offers out there and referral links and things that you can check out to earn more points off sign-up bonuses. Down the line too, once you've built that American Express relationship, then right now we're not doing a hard pull anymore. 3 to 6 months down the line, you can then get a business card like we talked about, sole prop or LLC. You can test the waters with them. It's going to be a soft pull, so there's no effect to your credit. Now you get an additional card. This is also just a really good spender in terms of business spend because you get 2x on everything. It's not in a category, it's 2x on everything up to 50K a year. So you can earn 100,000 points just off this card. It's a 0 annual fee. It's a 0% card for 12 months. It's a business card, so it's ghost and doesn't show on your personal side. And another really, really cool thing with American Express, you guys showed up, so you're going to get this. If you get a preset spending limit card, let's say you get one of the travel cards, one of the Hilton cards on American Express, one of the Marriott cards, one of the Delta cards, or you get a Blue Cash Preferred card. American Express will allow you to credit limit increase that every 91 days as a soft pull as well. So if you got an 8K credit limit and you ask for a credit limit increase, they'll do it as a soft pull and they'll do up to 3x that limit. 8K then turns into 24K. You can then do that again. And the cool thing about American Express, which is also why we like it on the business side, is when you have a preset card like that on the personal side, once you've built up your personal credit, you have limits up there, higher limits, you can actually transfer a limit from your personal card over to the Amex Business Plus or Business Cash. So if you have 30K on a personal card, you could then take 10K, maybe you got approved for 10K, and transfer it over to this business card to have a 20K limit at 0% for 12 months on the business side.
Fire, bro.
And that's why when you know these rules and you can think ahead, right? Credit is all about strategy and chess. You can think ahead and go, okay, maybe I don't want the business card now, but I can keep increasing my limits on the personal side because eventually I can actually get a larger limit because I did that.
Woo! I don't think they heard you, Zach. I don't think they heard you with that one, my brother. That's saucy right there for sure, John. Yeah. That is how you get some huge credit limits. You get your personal card, set up a business, transfer the credit limits onto one. Now you have one huge limit. Huge.
Mm-hmm. That's
Jessica
how
said
we play
you've
the
done it
game.
backwards, huh? Yeah, Jessica said you've done it backwards.
What if I've done this backwards and have business cards but no personal cards with Chase and Amex? If you start on the business side, they'll hard pull you again, even if you go to the personal side, so you can get 2 inquiries. In the grand scheme of things, it's not like the biggest deal. Um, but we always say just start on the personal side. You cannot transfer business limits over to the personal limits either. You can't transfer them back. So you can transfer them personal to biz.
And if you have no personal cards with Chase, it's not a big deal if you already got business cards. But
I'd be curious to know, like, if you have a Chase business card, what the limit is on that,
ah,
because that's kind of where the relationship based side of things comes from. You know, there could be a huge difference in the size of credit limits that they give you just because you didn't have a personal relationship with them initially
yeah.
or a business bank account relationship. So I see
And
that all the time.
yeah. Um, and I'll also add this. If you want to get higher credit limits, oh, 50,000. Oh, you're good. Yeah. You want to get higher credit limits. Yeah, you're Gucci. You want to get higher credit limits instead of going into the bank, like a Chase Bank, you want to be dealing with the relationship manager, right? Because if you deal with the relationship manager, they're going to be able to get you the 50, the $75,000 credit
Yep,
limits that you won't get if you just applied online, right? So something called a relationship manager, you want to make sure you have one of those inside your pocket. And we also work with a lot of relationship managers with different banks from Wells Fargo, Chase, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we do to help our clients be able to get really high credit limits. I don't know if you
for
talked
sure.
about the reallocation or if that's just too much. I know we're already a couple hours in. I don't
Yeah, we're
know.
gonna hold off on
Yeah,
that with
yeah.
Chase a little bit, but I
Okay.
agree. Yeah, if you're looking to or you have a business and you're looking for capital or you're looking to leverage the business side of things, relationship managers with Chase can be huge. Like I just this week helped a client get 60K on a Chase business card, and he had a pretty thin profile. And what relationship managers can do is they can push for a limit, they can ask for a limit, and they can work with underwriting to be able to help you get approved if there's any issues on your end. But the important thing is what they want, and I'm sure Deshaun will say this as well, that our relationship manager has told me, or my relationship manager has told me, they want to make sure that you have a personal relationship, and they also want to make sure that you have a business bank account. So there's certain things where if we're working with clients, these are things that you should have set up, or else they're basically, my relationship manager said, just have them apply on their own if they're in a rush, because I'm not going to try to help people get large limits and they don't have the relationship that our team's looking for.
Yeah. And the other thing is, this goes to Trenton and whoever else wants to know, a relationship manager can help you cut that 524 rule.
Yeah.
That's a gem. So it will help you bypass that 524 rule. So having a good relationship or having somebody in the bank that you can work with will help you bypass some of those hard rules. All right. Let's keep it rocking.
And I'm just mentioning this card because if you guys did not hear, Barclays is a part of American Airlines. We talked about American Airlines earlier. Now, Citi has taken over the entire relationship with American Airlines, which means Barclays is not going to have any American Airlines cards anymore after this year. The reason why I mention this is a popular card. I recommend it when you already have some built up credit, because Barclays is kind of a little stingy with their approvals. But if you have some decent relationships and credit limits, you'll be approved. But this card literally gives you 60,000, 70,000 on a referral link. My referral says 70,000, I believe, and off one purchase. So you could literally buy a stick of gum, is what it's known for, or just swipe it once, and you're going to receive 60,000 or 70,000 American Airlines miles. And so one of the things that I also found out is, even though Barclays is no longer going to have a relationship with American Airlines, if you get this card, before they rescind that, your American Airlines miles that you earn are still going to be attached to your American Airlines account. So this is a great card to easily get 60 to 70,000 American Airlines miles before it's not going to be available in a year. It's going to be attached to your American Airlines account. It takes one swipe. Barclays usually gives you high limits as well. So that could literally be Qatar Q Suites, very well known. If you guys are going to India, forgot who said he was going to India, but this would be an option to fly, one way into Doha, or I would choose on the way back, if I flew business class in Qatar, then I would get access to the Qatar lounges in its home country and be able to have that experience on the way back for
Nice.
70,000 AA miles.
Nice.
So figured I'd mention that because there's probably not going to be a whole lot of time to be able to take care of that or take advantage of that. Now, we already talked about some of the BizCard subs. I'm going to walk through a sequence that could be really good in terms of travel specific points earning opportunities. So like we said, there are a lot of higher subs on the business side. Business cards with Chase are typically 90,000 with the Ink cards, 120,000 with the business preferred card. Crazy one with Capital One, but you obviously have to spend a ton of money. So if you are, spending $20,000-$30,000 a month, $20,000 in the first 3 months, crazy. 250K for the Amex Platinum, 200K for the Business Gold. We see that they're a little bit higher. Now, one thing cool that I actually helped a friend with, if you don't have a business, but you want a nice sign-up bonus, the Business Preferred card is not a 0% card, but it has a high 20,000 point offer. So if you have a big expense, my friend actually doesn't have a business. He has a W-2 job, but he had to get his roof done, and they're willing to take credit card. He reached out to me, asked if there's anything you do. Business Preferred card applies as sole prop. Him and his wife both applied. They got 240,000 points. They put half of the spend for the roof on both the cards to hit the sign up bonus.
Nice.
240,000 points. So if that's you have a big spend, that's a good way to kind of stack up points on a sole prop application.
And then
But
also, guys, yeah, also if you ever have troubles hitting the spend or something like that, reach out to us and we can help you with different strategies and techniques that you can use to be able to hit the spend. So it's not that you ever have to worry about getting your sign-on bonuses. You will get your sign-on bonus. Just want to make sure you guys know that.
yeah, or there's ways like if you're traveling with family, you say you put the spend on your card, or you go out to dinner with friends, and that's a way. Everyone just pay me, and I'll put the entire bill on my card. You do that a few times. It's easier to hit sign up bonuses. People are pretty cool about that. So
Yeah.
if you
Lots of
guys want to
strategies.
go if you guys want to go crazy with an Amex free, specifically with travel, right? Once you're in the Amex family, this is going to be on the business side. So we talk about business cards and their subs. This is a really good option because you're not going to get any hard inquiries. You're already in the system. You're already with Amex. You've already built a relationship. So what you can do, there's a rule with Amex. You can apply to 2 preset cards, which are cards with limits, and up to 4 charge cards within 90 days. So you could run this literally within a day or two and apply to all these cards. Get the 250K target at all-time high with the Business Platinum, 150K or 200K. I believe Johnny said about his American Express Business Gold card. Get the Hilton Honors card, Marriott Bonvoy Business card. And
Yep.
I circled these 4 because if you kind of want a main 4, this is good because these 2 I would say are more specific to your business and you don't necessarily have to apply to them because they don't have any crazy sign up bonus. But the Plum card, the cool thing about the Plum card is it has 60-day statements. So you don't have to pay it in full right at the statement date, 30 days. They give you 60 days. So they give you 2 months to be able to pay that. So it gives you a little extra leg room if you're in a business with net 60s or you are in e-commerce or certain things that take a little bit more time to get your money back or get invoices or payments. It's a really good option that gives you that flexibility. And then the Amex Green Card as well. That gives you 425,000 points, MR points that you can transfer, 305,000 hotel points, no additional hard inquiries, doesn't report to personal. You get lounge access, you get status with the Hilton card and the Marriott cards. If you were to use them in the system and you didn't take anything from today's call, you'd only get $4,200 worth of value. But if you get just a conservative amount of 3 to 5x value on those points, that's up to $25,000 worth of travel. That's $15,000, $20,000 conservatively on the travel side. If you get some crazy redemptions at 8, 10x, it's even more, 2 to 4K in hotel stays. So that's a
Woo!
spree with no hard
Wow.
inquiries that you can go crazy with. Doesn't affect your credit on the business side. Tons of points.
That's fire right there, bro. That's fire. Wow. We just showed you guys how you can literally get $25,000 just from having good credit and applying for these cards in this sequence. $25,000 worth of travel right here on this call, right here tonight. Huge.
Mm-hmm. Big
Huge.
time. So
And
that's a spree you guys can run.
that's easy,
Getting
right?
close
That's
to the end of the call too.
yeah, that's easy, man. That's easy. How many people have found value out of that so far? Like, did you guys get that? That's huge. We didn't even talk about the business card, so you could actually double and triple that, what we just talked about right now.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
And so we did leave some things out. We can't talk about everything. It would be a super long call. There's a lot of nuance with all the strategies from not only travel hacking and the transfer partners and kind of how to do all that, but also with the business side. So did leave out the Chase trifecta. You can get 40K 1,000 points on a referral if you have business cards as well, which is really cool. But there is some hacks with the Chase business cards. I have some videos on the YouTube if you want to go search them. But there is some absolute game when it comes to the Chase cards. We can talk about on another call. There's other travel strategies. If you see people staying in Marriott hotels all the time, there's something called MMP passes. It's how they get 30, 40, 50% off on hotel rates. It's how they get status faster. MMP passes are really cool as well. If you're someone that travels a lot or you pretty much live like traveling around, let me know. I do have a connect with MMP passes if you want to learn more about that. And then we didn't really touch much on status and status matching. They come and go. So status matching, a lot of the statuses that I have received have not been from staying a ton of nights at hotels or flying 50 flights a year. They actually come from status matching. I've done a couple calls on status matching and the ones that were available as well. So we kept out that a little bit just to lay the foundations of points and miles so you guys understand how to use them and some of the things to think about.
Yeah. And then some of the other stuff that was left out. Some of the other stuff that was left out is we didn't go heavy into showing you how to utilize like certain hotels, right? Certain hotel chains, like utilizing the Marriott, how to
Hmm.
utilize Marriott's relationship, how to utilize a Hilton relationship, how to really go heavy and utilize the Hyatt relationship, which is one of the best that you can have for staying internationally, and Marriott too. We're staying internationally. We have a lot more to go into, but we've already been on the call for about almost 3 hours, like 2.5 hours. We were going to try and cut it to just 2 hours, but there's a lot more information, and we also want to be able to give you guys some really good information, but not like overload you. But if you guys are really avid travelers and you guys really want to go deep into this, we want to give you guys that opportunity as well. But like he has here, drop a 1 in the chat if you guys felt like this information was helpful for you tonight. You just want to know and make sure that we provided enough value for you guys.
Yeah,
Yep.
they dropped them in there when I when I pulled it up.
Oh, did they? Okay, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Right on, right on.
But yeah, there's so much nuance with it that I just want to make sure that everyone kind of understands the core pieces of credit, of business credit, of points and miles. Once you understand that, you can really kind of dive into the nuances and the things that are a little bit more challenging. So that's why we left out some of those pieces. Then it would just get really confusing.
Yeah. And so, go ahead, John.
Yeah, go ahead, Deshaun.
No, if you guys have challenges like with getting approved for some of these cards, if you want help in building out your credit profile, you want help reading your credit, if you want access to relationships and stuff like that, we want to be able to provide that help. We're gonna give you guys an opportunity to work with us. Zach, if you want to go ahead and go a little
Hmm.
into that a little bit.
Yeah, and I know we touched on it, right? If you guys are interested in more like hand holding, more one-on-one help, to me, credit is chess, right? As you probably noticed today, and this is pretty common in the space, in the finance space, talking about credit as chess, but it is about strategy and data points and information on how you can get approvals. You got to have alignment with your credit reports, what you're putting in your applications and the banks that you're working with, because there's a lot of nuance with it. And that's why, me and Deshaun have been in the game quite a few years now. So if your credit profile is thin, you need a little bit of help. You don't want to go randomly applying to things. You want to be able to take that strategy, play chess, like we had talked about, build it correctly, focus on your personal credit initially. And then if you're looking for kind of more business funding or even travel hacking help on how to utilize your points and miles, will help you kind of build that strategy out. So I'm sure you guys have noticed that tonight, just the way we're speaking and kind of how we're operating on talking about different pieces of the call. So either way, like what to expect from my side, if you guys keep following my content, I'm sure you guys noticed it from the beginning. When I mentioned it, I'm going to be traveling the next like 3-4 months. So follow along on kind of Instagram, on YouTube. I'm going to be posting. I'm going to be in Buenos Aires for at least 3 to 4 months. I'm going to be doing videos on the JFK lounges when I'm there on that flight with American Airlines. Because I'm flying business class, I have access to specific lounges as well. This Interior Speakeasy. I'm going to be dropping some game on the Hyatt hotels. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the status and the possible upgrades that I could get at these properties on international spots. So be dropping that down. I'm also going to start building out a mini travel course. So these things that we had talked about today, you want something to go back to, let me know if you're interested in it. I'm going to try to make it like really affordable for people. I always have people reaching out, how do I use my city points or how do I use my chase points? That's going to be able to give you guidance on something that you can go back to and you can actually do the bookings that I showed yourself.
Nice.
Right. So just DM me if you want to be on the wait list for that. I'm building that out currently. And then I'll just add to it. And eventually will just get more expensive as I add more comprehensive information to it in terms of that. So that's what to expect from my side. You as well, Deshaun. Anything, anyone,
Yeah,
anything you got upcoming?
yeah. So what you guys can expect from me and how I can help you is I can help you make sure that your personal credit is intact. We have a whole program that will actually help you do that. Whether it's taking off negative items off your personal credit, helping you then strategize to build up your personal credit, and then helping you if you don't have a business, we will help you set up your sole proprietorship. We will help you set up your LLC and get it compliant so then you can walk into the bank and you can get yourself set up, and then you can start applying and getting some of these cards that we're talking about, hitting the sign-on bonuses, hitting the checking account bonus just for signing up. We will help you be able to do that as well. And then also, Zach, do you have the next slide going on right now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So if this sounds like something that you guys are interested in, you guys want us to go really in depth with you guys, we only want to take about maybe 5 to 10 people that we work with, but we want to be able to really walk you through each scenario so that you can actually have more hand-holding and also really understand this, whether it's building out your business credit, helping you know which business credit card you should apply for and how you should get approved for that application. If it's also going to be going over the different sequences and helping you hit the highest sign-on bonus that you can hit. We want to make sure that you can actually take a trip with you, yourself, your family. If you want to be able to take that trip this year coming up, we're going to be doing this 3-day travel challenge, and we're going to help you guys get everything you need and understanding so that going forward, you're always going to know how to use your points. You're going to know exactly what sites we use, how to use them, and making sure that you can travel. And then you have direct access to us one-on-one so that we can continue to help you. You'll also get a replay to this video right now. We're not sure if we're going to be charging for this video, but we did talk about it. So this information is very high-end information that we sat in many rooms to be able to get access to. So if there's something that you're interested in, we want to know. So make sure you guys let us know if you're interested in this 3-day challenge. If you know any friends or family, people that might be interested in this 3-day challenge, we want to put you guys on our waiting list so that we can actually help you guys out with this, because we just feel like this is really valuable information. And I love traveling all over the world. Zach loves traveling all over the world. You're going to look at our YouTube channels. You're going to be able to see that. And we want to be able to say that we helped you as well. And we got you guys on your journey as well. So we figure like just a small 3-day challenge will be enough to really go heavy with you guys like we did tonight and making sure you guys are on your way.
Mm-hmm. Said it perfectly. Yeah. So if you're in a position where you want to build up your personal credit, you want to build up those relationships, we can help you do that, handhold you on that. You'll receive the recording of the call. We'll help you do those applications, understand the data points, the information that you need to know to be able to get approvals, help you understand how to book that first trip, save you $500,000, even more on that. And I, as a globalist, one of the cool things about being a globalist with Hyatt is that you actually get something called guest of honor awards. So I can actually gift guest of honor benefits, which is you get my Hyatt globalist benefits, which is like a suite upgrade, breakfast, late checkout, high speed Wi-Fi, all the benefits of being a globalist. And so two lucky people that decide to DM us and they're interested in kind of that coaching approach from us, we'll be able to get that on one of their next upcoming trips as well, which if you have some Chase points, you'll be able to book Hyatt hotels. And if you guys are looking for more, you're on the business side, you already have a strong personal setup or believe you have a strong personal setup, you want to see if we know the same thing. Both me and Deshaun help on the funding side. So if you need help with relationship managers and getting access to the capital on the business side to help with your business, scaling your business, growing your business, or even investing in different opportunities in the online space, let us know and we can talk to you about that as well. So, and if you guys want to reach out to us, if you guys don't follow us already, go ahead, give us a shout, subscribe on YouTube. If you want to reach out to us and DM us, you can either DM us in our school community or on our Instagrams, easiest way to access us. I'm going to be posting a lot of my travel content on my second account. I have a personal account. You can reach out to me there as well. But majority of my content on the credit side is going to be going on this new account, Credit with Rip. So reach out to us there. That kind of concludes everything for the call. I appreciate everyone showing up, engaging, letting us know, asking questions. Anything else you got, Deshaun?
No, I want to open up the floor for everybody. Let's give like maybe 5 minutes to see if there's anybody that wants to ask any questions, because I know there was a lot of questions that was in the chat that we weren't able to like hit on. So if you guys want, just raise your hand. I'll unmute you, and then you guys can go ahead and actually you can just raise your hand, hit the hand screen, or if you just want to just ask a question, just let us know. Let me see. I have a hand raised right now. Bonetta. Okay, Bonetta, go ahead, rock out.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
I just wanted to good evening and thank you so much. This was amazing. You're always so thorough. I love you for real. Virtual hugs and everything. I just wanted to know, could you put your links, those extra ones that you just said that where we can reach you here in the chat so I can just hit on them so I can save them real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, we got you.
I know, I think you said something with credit with Rip, said,
Yeah, I can share screen here, and then I can also drop the.
And there was something
You see it?
DTI. Okay, yeah, DTI info. Okay, I just didn't catch that one. I got it now. Thank you.
Yeah, so these are our YouTubes right here, these ones, but the Instagrams where it's easiest to message us is DI Trivoli, credit with Rip, or my name.
Appreciate you. Thank you
It's
so much.
Di Trovelli. You wouldn't get that. Was there any other questions, you guys, that I missed? I know you guys had put some stuff in the chat. Replay. Yeah. So go ahead and DM us when we drop the replay. We'll let you know. Zach wanted to do it for the 3-day challenge. I think he was saying he wanted to make sure he
Yeah,
gave those
I
people.
think we might put some snippets of it on YouTube or in the communities as well. But if you guys take us up on the challenge, we'll send you the full replay. But there might be coming out, you know, a few snippets of the whole presentation in the future.
Yeah. Henry, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I basically want to know, do you guys have corporate codes for hotels?
Zach is the man for that. You put that in the
I have a
3-day challenge,
couple
or?
corporate codes. I have a couple corporate codes for hotels, but the thing with corporate codes with hotels, they're not that discounted, which is why it's better to essentially get an MMP pass. MMP pass, when you get an MMP pass, it's directly from a Marriott employee. So I do have a connect who can get you MMP passes. In terms of like prices of what that costs, it's usually for a whole year, it's around like $1,100 to $1,200. So you have to really take into account how much you're traveling, or you can do it by 6 months or a year. So split that in half at 600. So that's MMP passes are better because corporate codes, they typically ask for some type of work verification. So you can get around that by making like, you know, a fake Apple card or a fake Cisco card.
Yeah, but we don't
discounts,
condone anybody.
yeah, we don't condone that, but at the same time, they're actually not as cheap as MMP is going to be the cheapest you can get, 50-60% off. But you got to take into account how much you're traveling to get that value.
Yeah, those corporate cards are going to give you like 10-15% sometimes, like AAA.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They'll be
exactly.
like a AAA. There's like Microsoft, they have one as well. A lot of the big corporations, IBM, all those have them as well. I had a list of them. If you jump in one of our in my school group, can you we'll look for the school group link, and I might put it inside of the school group, guys, with the corporate codes to be able to help you guys out.
I actually have a big Excel sheet of different corporate codes.
Yeah. We can keep that inside of our 3-day challenge. If you guys want to jump in the 3-day challenge, we'll make sure we research and get you guys all that information. If that's cool.
But yeah, a lot of people will stack MMP with status. So if you get one of the Marriott cards, you could get platinum status as well. People will stack that. Book international trips to then get platinum elite status. So MMP is the best way if you want discounts. Corp codes are typically, like Deshaun said, 15 to 20%.
Yeah, the reason why I had asked that question because I have American Express gold card, and I also have the American Express Hilton card. So what I did was I put all my expenses on the gold card, and at the end of the month, when I pay it off, I transfer those points from the gold card over to the Hilton card because they doubled in points. and then
Mm.
so that way I can be able to get, the points as fast as possible because they double. I wind up attaching a AAA card to the Hilton when you go on the Hilton app, and they'll
Mhm.
also give you a little bit of a discount because you're a AAA member.
Yeah, like 10% discount.
Yeah.
Yeah, they give you like 10%, correct?
Yeah, I got you.
Now, one thing I would mention is if you're staying at Hilton's and you feel like you're getting value out of those points, then that's
I
fine.
just use that because I don't have the other cards.
Okay. But like Hilton cards, like the value of Hilton card or Hilton points are like 0.5 versus the 1-1. So like if you were to transfer your Amex Gold points into an airline at a 1-to-1 ratio, if you were to look at like how many points it cost to book.
Yeah, if you go to the American Express portal, you'll be able to see that when you transfer the points from the gold card over to the Hilton American Express card, that they actually double in points.
Yeah, because the value of Hilton points is actually 0.5 cents.
Okay.
So for it to reach the 1-to-1 value, they have to double it.
Mm.
So like, but if I were to do this, I'm just gonna show you. Can you guys see the screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So this is something I didn't mention. I've done a class on like hotel point values, which is why like I like Hyatt, because if I transfer Hyatt points, it's 1-to-1, and it's essentially same in their system.
Mhm.
But if I were to do this with points on Hilton, this Hilton 60,000 points, 50,000 points, but the cash value is $171.
Oh.
So that would be like 17,000 points at a 1-to-1 value,
Mhm.
but instead they're charging 50,000 points.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like when there's certain points or when there's transfer bonuses, when it's like you can transfer, they'll give you a 60% bonus to transfer into Hilton, or they'll give you a 60% bonus to transfer into Marriott. Marriott points are a little bit higher than Hilton too. They're like 0.7 to 0.8 value.
Okay.
Then if you have a trip in mind and you can find good value out of transferring points and staying at a higher value Hilton property, then it makes sense. But if you're doing it just kind of naturally, then you're kind of losing value of those points because of how they're valued within Hilton.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Or is that still really confusing?
It's a little bit confusing because I don't have the expertise. I know you're trying to break it down to me.
Yeah.
But
Join our challenge, bro. We want to go deep with you so we can really have time to break it down for you. Join the challenge. You down?
yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm
so
definitely down for the challenge. Trust me.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's definitely put you down on the waiting list for the challenge. We'll send you an email if you're interested in the challenge. You guys just let us know.
1,000%.
All right. Let us know. We'll send you. We want to go into like I want to go into talking about how to use booking.com. I want to talk to you guys about how to get luxury hotels and take advantage of some of the voucher deals that I take advantage of when I'm traveling abroad. We have so much to unpack in 3 days that we want to be able to give you guys if you're interested. But we want to just make sure we keep it to a small amount of people so that we can, if you're confused on any of this point redemption stuff and you need us to really slow down and go a little deeper, we want to make sure we give you the time and we give you the quality that you deserve. So definitely interested. Just let us know. You guys are the first people to come in on our call. So you guys get first dibs if we end up packing it, just so you know.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my bad, Henry, if that came off rude or anything.
No. I don't.
Didn't mean to be. I just
take that away.
wanted to like point out like a thought process because I didn't even break that down at all. But like if you're getting value out of those points, it doesn't matter if you're getting value out of them. You can use them how you want them. But I do just like to point those things out because the hotel systems are definitely a little bit different than just the airlines and stuff that we tackled.
Yeah.
All right, cool. No, I appreciate you keeping it real with me. Thank you.
For sure.
I think Colby had a question. Colby, did you have a question still, bud? If you're there, go ahead and just unmute. You don't have to raise your hand there. He might be sitting next to his wife. It's late over there in Texas, so he probably can't talk. Let's see. I'm just playing. Just playing, Colby. Just playing. Let's see. What is the best place to find the monthly partner transfer bonuses for flights? Zach Diesel, that's you.
Oh, okay. Really, really easy. Just type in current transfer bonuses. Boom. When you're interested, it'll show in the portals if you check in
Can't see
Chase,
the screen.
Amex, City. But this is the easiest way. Just
Can't
type
see
in
your
current
screen.
transfer.
You're not sharing anymore. Were you trying to share?
Oh, I guess I stopped sharing it.
Now you're frozen. It's like here.
Yeah, I'm about to. It just paused. Just froze, yeah.
Yeah, it froze for a second.
Working?
Yeah, you're Gucci.
Yeah, so I just type in current transfer bonuses on Google. They'll come out with them a few days into the month or every couple months. Right now, 20%, 20% to Air Canada. It'll show you the end date. And then this is an example of like a hotel transfer bonus to IHG. So they're typically higher, 50 to 80%. And then it'll show you the past ones. So like this was a huge one, 40% to Amex. There was also, or from Amex to Virgin Atlantic. And there was also one from Chase to Virgin Atlantic. So people were flying internationally to like London for like 26,000 points on a
Wow.
business class flight.
Nice.
Now, London in the UK does have higher taxes and fees, like fuel surcharges. That's what'll happen with domestic US flights versus international flights. So they're paying $300-400 to go across. It used to be like 900. But if it's a $7,000 flight, $4,000 flight, you're still getting a good redemption in terms of your points.
Huge value. And I have a couple other sites, you guys, where you can actually find cheap flights if you're flexible. I can help you find flights to Italy for like $15. I haven't even let anybody know about this one yet. So that's something that I'm gonna put inside of our 3-day challenge as well. It's huge. You just pay the taxes and fees, and it's a huge gem. So stuff you guys might want to check out. All right.
And
Anybody have any
I
other
actually want
questions?
to show them something real quick, actually.
You want to show them something? All right. Go ahead.
I'm going to show them a possibility that I was looking at to go to Argentina with the 40% transfer bonus. This was an example of that. I could have flown into Santiago de Chile from JFK for 95,000 points was the normal one, but with the 40% transfer bonus, it would have been 68,000. So it went from 95,000 to 68,000 points with the transfer bonus, and this is on LATAM Airlines, and it was a $7,000 flight.
Wow. Wow.
And so
Huge.
that helps when there's certain transfer bonuses available. Also, it would have been 40% bonus on the 37,500, so it'd been like 20,000 points for economy.
Nice. Nice.
So,
Right on. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Anybody have anything else? If you got anything else, go ahead and let us know. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and sign off. If you guys want more information on that 3-day challenge, let us know. We want to make sure we have the demand that you guys want to be able to jump in on it. So we're not wasting anybody's time. We just want to make sure you guys are good. You guys want that. If you want it, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and get out of here.
appreciate it, y'all. Have a great night.
All
Great
right.
weekend.
Peace. Let's see.